today's world of self-service, it's nice to know that there's still a place where you can sit back and relax. Bennett's Driveway Service, now at Snug, Lerner Valley and Sandy Bay. For more than 40 years, Bennett's Petroleum has been there for all Tasmanians.
All it does is call. And when you hear it, then it's up to you to act. Know your limits and come back for them later. Forget yesterday.
Tackle right, aggressive tackle off. And 8 3 Welcome and good afternoon to the SFL Grand Final for 2019 between the Huonville Lions and the Lindisfarne Two Blues. My name is Tubes Taylor and I'm joined in the Duff TV commentary box by my good man, the veteran Andrew Silver Fox Hopwood. Hoppy, are you ready to go?
I tell you what, Tubes, I'm up and about. I'm slightly aroused on the edge of my chair. It is Grand Final day here, SFL EIS Grand Final day. It's been a cracker already, hasn't it, mate? We've had the Colts go round first. We had Lindisfarne got the chocolates.
Yes.
You then had a very close look as we see Huonville, of course, coming out through their banner. The ladies from Brighton won the second game, and then Huonville in a bit of an upset in the reserves. And it all comes down to this, mate, the big dance. Huonville Lions v the Two Blues.
Yeah, it's going to be massive here today, and we've had some previous encounters before this day, and they've been very, very close, apart from the round 2 one there, Hoppy, which is a bit of a blowout at Anzac Park. But then the Lions have really turned it around. That they would be the form team of the competition as we speak, and they definitely deserve to be here, getting over the top of Lindisfarne in, of course, that qualifying final. Then the second semi, they got over the top of Dodgers Ferry at Shark Park, which was a huge win.
Absolutely.
And today, well, it's theirs for the taking if they want it, but they come up against a very, very eager and keen and talented Lindisfarne Two Blues side.
Well, I know you studied the SFL greatly as we see the Lindisfarne team come up. It was always going to be fascinating, wasn't it, Tubes, to see if after that groundbreaking win, they had it very, very close to Lindisfarne. Last year they came up with the victory, and was that going to be the start of a dynasty? Well, they're giving them a chance. At least they're here again, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. And they won't get the blue wash that they got last year because, of course, Huonville got over the top, as you said earlier, in the reserves. But they've got some very talented players on their list. Blaisley, Miller, Roberts, Cassidy, Edmondson, Cunliffe, Howlett, who kicked a ripper goal a few years ago in a loss to New Norfolk Grand Final here on this very day 2 years ago. But as we say, they come up against a very talented Huonville Lions side. Had a change of coach halfway through the season with Tim Lamprell coming over and taking over the reins and really getting this Lions outfit up and firing.
Yeah, they certainly have, and a smattering of players, as you just mentioned, mate, who have played at the high level, moreover, for the Two Blues. But of course, it's about how they gel, how they combine. And there's something about country football, whether it be from the dominance that we've had from the team from the Valley of Love that they very much enjoyed representing their community. And the Huonville area get behind this team. The combination of what was the Franklin Lions with Huonville, and they come up with this team. And it's great to see there was a bit of a roadblock on the Southern Outlet this morning because of all the cars coming up. The crowd here is absolutely building. It'd be, what would it be? Would it be 4,000 or 5,000 at least?
Yeah,
maybe a few more. Enjoying their day, fantastic weather, and we're looking forward to a huge day. And I was thinking about this game before. At the start of the season, as I alluded to, we're wondering if Lindisfarne could be the dominant force. Would Huonville, you know, were they scarred from last year? Could they bounce back? Well, they've answered that question. Can they go one better? And the other interesting thing for me was how Dodgers Ferry would go, because they recruited very nicely. Well, they went well in the season, but once it hit finals for them, they went out in close straight sets, and it was all because, as you quite rightly said, that Huonville Lions are playing some good football at the pointy end of the season.
That's right. They're playing their best footy at this very important time of the season, and a couple of players to watch for the Lions. Cam Johns did very well in the William Leach Medal. Reece Douglas, one of my favourite players in the SFL. We call him the Barnacle because he just latches on and he doesn't let go. Brad Sullivan, Big Sully down there. Ethan Brock, of course, a prodigious talent, that young man. And then you've got the veterans, James McIndoe, Matty Shank, and, of course, the coach, playing coach Timmy Lamprell in the long sleeves as well. So keep an eye on all of those players as we get moving, as the umpires come into the position to get ready for the national anthem. What's your tip, Hoppy?
Yeah, look, I get a sense that the two Blues have just battled their way. They've got here. They've sort of all but slightly come under the radar. And it was almost like a shot over the bow of the SFL when I saw a player like Cassidy kicking 10 the other week. I think it was against Signet.
Yep.
It was almost like, don't forget us.
Hey.
We're here. We're the premiers from last year, and we are starting to go well at the end of the season. So I'm looking forward to this encounter, but for me, I think it will be Lindisfarne by 2.5 to 3 goals.
Wow. Well, there you go, and you've watched enough footy to know.
Your good self?
Well, in the qualifying final, the last time they met, they were even at the end of regular time.
Boy.
They had to go to extra time, and the Lions got over the top. For me, there's a fairly big contingent from down the Valley of Love, and I'm expecting a very tight game, but Huonville just. Anyway, we'll get to the national anthem here. Well, there you go, Hoppy, and someone's brought their own air horn.
Well, just wonderful, isn't it, when you see the steely faces of the players trying to concentrate, visualise what it is in front of them, and come out and produce on the biggest day. And I think the biggest fear for any player is to put in a Barry Crocker on the grand final. There's no doubt about that. I mean, if you put in a really good game and you do the best thing for yourselves and your team and you come away with a loss, so be it. But you just don't want to walk away thinking, if only.
How's the respect between those two, big Jimmy McIndoe and Michael Cassidy? Cassidy wins a toss and selects the Horry-Gorringe end, the mountain end, if you like. I'm not even sure what the official term is for that.
Darren Perry end.
Is that right? The Darren Perry end, of course, the champion North Hobart footballer and champion fellow, of course, good mate of Duff TV. So Cassidy wins the toss and kicks to the right of screen.
Straight up to the Horry-Gorringe stand, and I don't know if you picked up there, Tubes. When I went out in the ground at about three-quarter time of the reserves just to get a sense of the occasion, there was a bit of a breeze sort of favouring that end. Yeah,
I did notice that in the women's game as well. So Cassidy's obviously selected to go with that breeze for the first quarter, hopefully hoping that breeze may die out for the later in the game. But I don't know. I'm expecting a real electric contest here at North Hobart Oval, and check out that view. What a beautiful day for football here. Grand final day in the EIS Southern Football League Grand Final between the Huonville Lions and the Lindisfarne 2 Blues. Players going out into their position. We'll keep a close eye on any of those key matchups for you. Looks like Matty Schenk's going to line up on this near wing, just to the near side. You can see him down there stretching up those limber hamstrings. Going to him looks like Matt Hutchinson. He's 11 there on 22. Perhaps Matty Schenk thinks he's twice as good a player. Through the middle, Ryan Martin there playing in the middle. Of course, Troy Cunliffe, the William Leach medalist from a couple of years ago. And it looks like Kieran Rogers running through the middle for Huonville. Reese Douglas, Brody Rundle, And it looks like Cunliffe might have someone riding him pretty closely in the form of Dale Thorpe. So game about to get underway. We check the 666. The umpires are happy. Take it away, Andrew Hopwood.
Yes, the umpire holds it aloft. The big man lock eyes and they up. Even bounce. Phillips goes up nicely, tries to get his Duke on it, comes down with the ball, and just like in the reserves, there was teaming up beautifully with the Huonville Lions. Again, to the advantage. Picked up. Nicely played by Rogers. Goes further afield. They go into attack now. Ball bouncing. Out they come. Nicely worked by Barnett. He goes back towards goal, and it's errant across the side, but that was very lively, Tubes, there by the Lions.
Yeah, just great pace from Tristan Barnett running it out of the half-forward line. So now the two Blues to bring it out. Kick is long. Miller takes the mark at half-back. That is Joey Miller, the fashionable redhead. Sends it up towards the wing. Big fly, nice fist away by the Lions player. Lamprell gets the kick smothered off the boot. That was great. Pressure goes back and gets it again. Nicely handballed up to Housing, who gets it forward. And the rolling ball goes out of bounds in front of Case Miller for a boundary throw-in.
Yes, and it looks like, Huonville are rolling up now to counter that forwards. Cassidy's down deep, and that's where he'll stay. Boundary throw-in.
They're playing one behind the ball here, the Lions.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting to see who that what happens with that other loose, as they have an opportunity overrunning it, but it was nice play there by Timmy Lamprell. Now it comes, and it just whooshing that one out of defence. That's Justin Howlett. He had a stint down at Lauderdale a couple of years ago. Very gifted, skillful player by foot. It's further afield. It's close to the boundary line, and it's been seen out. And that was Cunliffe at the bottom of the pack. And it will be a boundary throw in. Nice and tight encounter at the start with 1 minute 50 gone. The big men face off. So that's Matty Phillips getting a tap out to the advantage. Cunliffe then screws that ball back. Not to anyone in particular, and backing back, almost taking a strong mark, was Cameron Johns, one of the Johns boys that playing. Gets a handball back over to Ward, but a good smother there by the two Blues, and another boundary throw in.
So Huonville with a lot of the play at the moment, the pressure really on the two Blues, and the boundary throw in will ensue. So up in the ruck, it's Phillips up against the big number 7 Ward, punches it down. Douglas with a quick little handball out, shifted to half forward. McIndoe with a quick handball up. Didn't go to anyone particular. Miller got the kick forward, bouncing ball. Here they go, the two Blues, through the middle of the ground. Ryan Martin gets caught with the footy, and that's holding the ball according to the umpire. It'll be a free kick going the way of Schenk. Schenk from centre midfield sends it long. It's a scrubby kick, and it'll end up in the arms of an opponent in Dylan Johns.
Yeah, this is good play by Johns, and this is what he's been doing well of late, Tubes. He's been drifting aloft across that intercept play. He's got a very, very good set of hands. I happened to coach the young man in the 2013 grand final. He's playing for Lauderdale. He's versatile down back and forward, but in senior company, he's been taking some good marks across half-back flank and getting himself in dangerous areas.
Now the Lions move the ball up forward. Bouncing ball, strong over the footy there from Barnett. I beg your pardon, that's Brad Sullivan, and we'll see a ball up just at half forward for the Lions. All the play in the Lions half at this stage. The two Blues not able to work the ball past the centre of the ground. Douglas with strength gets the ball forward. It's a big high up and under. The numbers here with the Lions. Schenk out through the middle. Quick kick off the boot. It goes down towards McIndoe, through for a behind.
Gee, that was good play there, Tubes, by Schenk, though, wasn't it? He sensed what was happening, got the front and centre, cleverly put it around his body, but just couldn't find the goal. So the two Blues now, directly from fullback. That's a nice kick and a good mark taken by Rogers. Evades go one way or the other. Another young fella who had a little bit of a stint down there at Lauderdale. Just going further up. Blaisley, the same. Goes back over, and Troy Cunliffe sees it over. And Cunliffe is a quality player. in any company in this state, Tubes.
Yeah, absolutely. He's one of the best footballers, as you say, in the state. So we'll see a boundary thrown. The first time it's really been forward for the two Blues. Fist down by the Lions. They dive on it. Umpire's letting it go. It rolls out the back. Somehow it came out for Rundle. Now the Lions get it on the 1-2. The ball moves quickly forward through Brodie Rundle's hands. Howlett, though, he's standing there firm. Gets a nice shepherd, does this player who just got the kick forward and leading out, taking a strong mark. Brad Sullivan from a tough pocket. He'll go back and have a shot.
Yeah. A lot of pressure was then put on by Edmondson, and the closing speed as well by Brad Tennick. He's an interesting cat to watch go round, Tubes. He is one of the elite distance runners. Saw him one night run the over the bridge. He was out till 3 in the morning, turned up and came third. A very, very elite runner. So now Huonville having a shot for goal and just pushing that to the near side, and one behind. So Huonville Lions, as we check the JMC Motor Car Company scoreboard, they are 3 behinds to the 2 Blues yet to score.
The ball comes out now. The Lions have the numbers around the footy. They'll happily see it over the line. We saw this in the earlier stages of today in the reserves, where somehow the ball's come out. There's a free kick to the Lions. Out it comes though. That's a quick torpedo. Nicely worked by Rogers. Big fly over the back though. Mark taken by Rawson.
Rawson now just takes his time, and oh dear, he's turned that ball over, and not in a very good spot because the 2 Blues are there. It's Cunliffe. He puts it down. They've slipped over. Got to try and hold your feet if you possibly can. Backing back on the ball is Husing, and he just takes his time as he goes out towards the defensive side. Almost sleight of hand as it's come over the top. Here's the skipper as he goes on a drop punt and a lead, and they're using the ball very nicely as they go all but into attack.
Elliott has the ball in front of the George Miller stand, sends it long to the paint on the forward 50. It's punched away and gathered by Rogers. His kick's a real high one, brings rain almost, and that one goes out of bounds on the 4. It'll be the Lions to bring it back into their attacking 50.
Gee, Rogers has got plenty of the ball, Tubes, so far, hasn't he, down back? So as it goes back down towards him again, they go up. Huonville Lions have the numbers. It was a good spoil there by Ward. He's being ably assisted, and he's trying to push it out. Can't do so. And the umpire will come in and ask for it as he gets the ball up. And there was that very gifted runner, Tennick, at the bottom of the pack.
Yeah, he's loose, old Brad Tennick, as the ball comes forward for the 2 Blues. It's marked by Reece Ward. He sends it out wide to his man deep on that centre wing position. He'll look to go deep inside forward 50. Watch the ball fly. They go up high. No one really took the mark. It was fisted away. Out it comes backwards for Edmondson. He gets his kick just. Pushed under the ball down there was Michael Blackburn. And that ball is out of bounds for another boundary throw-in.
Tried to give the old Dusty Martin don't argue, and Huonville were having none of it as their famous George Miller stand over there, which has been rebuilt, which looks amazing. So Lindisfarne, that's Westbury. He tried to hold it out, and the call to a ball or throwing it, the umpire didn't see it that way, but eventually Huonville take the kick, and again they have an opportunity to go inside the 50.
I think he forgot to blow the whistle there, Hoppy, the umpire.
Well, there's a lot of pressure on everyone out there, Tubes. It is a grand final, and Huonville are directly in the middle of the ground as Thorpe goes in. Not a great kick, and here he is taking another intercept mark again. Is Johns playing very nicely across half back.
Yep, James gets his kick down towards his teammate in Blaisley. Blaisley's kick goes a little bit too far, and the Lions just mop it up at the back. Housing gets his kick away, and this one just goes out of bounds in front of the umpire's race there, and we'll see another boundary throw-in. So 8 3/4 minutes gone in the first term. The Lions zip 3-3, lead Lindisfarne yet to score on the Jackson Motor Company scoreboard.
I'd like to see that when they go inside 50, Tubes, there's some of the smaller forwards run out at pace to create some space. Both teams are struggling when they get inside the 50. The back lines have been really good to come and block it up as it goes end over end. It was Dylan Johns running towards it again. It just evades him at the last moment, and it's going to be another ball in. But it's that last kick in that both teams are struggling with.
Yeah, they're struggling all right. I'm not sure. I think maybe just because of the style of play and North Hobart Oval, as the umpires pulled out a free kick, it'll go to the Two Blues. Because of the close confines of North Hobart Oval and they're such great running sides, they're getting a little bit congested here so far in this grand final. Big Roost driven long by Edmondson. Bouncing ball out of bounds.
Yeah, it's just which team is prepared to do the hard running so that you can create the space for the forwards to run into, or alternatively do those tick leads where you come up so you can turn back into space. So now it was that ball in as Ward went up for it. It's won by the Blues. They go again. Well done by Adams. He's a really strong player. Started his junior football with Clarence, and he started seniors at Lauderdale and decided to go into the SFL, and he's been very, very effective player as young Sammy Adams. Very strong player, and you'd expect him to get a lot of it down and dirty down below his knees. There he is again, beaten to it by weight of numbers by Johns. Further afield, this is nice play. There's an opportunity now. I think that might be McIndoe, but that kick is an absolute Barry Crocker off the side of the boot, and Huonville will just take their time and relieve this one through Howlett.
Howlett sends it long up towards Cassidy, who we haven't called too much. That one goes out of bounds. So, Hoppy, I haven't really liked the way Lindisfarne have been playing this early, and I'm sure Coach Dan Willing will be really frustrated.
I agree. They've been a good forward team going into it, that they haven't had a system. And I think, to Huonville's credit, they've been the ones applying the pressure on them, haven't they? Every time they've got the ball, they've had the weight of numbers come toward them, and they haven't been allowed to do the normal things that they've done. So it's can they keep that relentless pressure will be the question that we'll be asking.
Yeah, who knows? So Lindisfarne again. I think that's Miller out on the far wing. He sends it long, big fly from a multitude of players as the ball bounces now in front of Tej Westbury. And we've been told that his name's Tej, yes.
Yeah,
I think.
Yep, lovely young fella as well.
Oh, he's a good-looking man. He's got the long hair, the long plaits as the ball boundary throw in. Punched away again. There's going to be a free kick. It'll go to Lindisfarne. The big ruckman there in Matty Phillips is going to get a free kick for shepherding out. So this will be the first real inside 50 as he handballs off. Long kick here. Big fly. It was over the back though. The Lions will bring it out through Schenk.
Yeah, nice play by the Lions. As you just said, Tubes, that was a good entry, a good deep entry there by Lindisfarne. But they had the numbers to get back and punch like they did in the reserves. That's what they did very, very nicely. So maybe the two teams have been practicing their defensive work because they were able to run that one out as they're trying to get a spare behind the ball very quickly now, and they do so now. Boundary throw in. It's towards the Lindisfarne end. They'd love to get that ball up into that 50 and get a score. It is what has been the scoring end so far. It's very close. In fact, it has gone over as the pressure's been applied. And at the moment, Huonville are holding on firm.
Yep, they're certainly holding on.
So, boundary throw in. Absolutely lovely day here. A real cracker.
Oh, it's a beauty, isn't it? I'd like to see Mickey Blackburn get a fair run at the ball too. We haven't called his name barely at all, as that one's wrapped up in a nice DDT that you'd be happy in the World Wrestling Federation. And another ball up right on the paint at half forward for the Two Blues.
I guess in Blackburn's defence there, Tubes, he has been starved of opportunity so far.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's close to the line that was over as Rogers, who has been called quite well, both defensively and now offensively, playing on the ball, couldn't quite keep it in before it was over. And another throw in. Let's see if they can get that ball to an attacking position, the Two Blues. That's what their attempt will be, to try and get it over the back. Rogers is the man there. He's Rundle for Huonville at the bottom. Pushed out by Tennick. doing the hard yards for a small man. I think that might be in the back.
Yep.
It certainly is, Tubes, and here is a huge opportunity for the two Blues to score their first major for the day.
Yeah, Tom Roberts just willed himself at that contest and managed to fall over the footy. And Tom Roberts is one of the best kicks in the SFL. And yeah, just a little bit overzealous there by big Tommy Jackman. So Tom Roberts from a slight angle. Distance won't be a problem, and accuracy won't either. Tom Roberts gets his first, and also the first for the game, would you believe? Just a lazy 14, nearly 15 minutes into the first term. Lindisfarne hit the front, 1-6 to 3-3. The Huonville Lions trail by 3 points.
Well, as we can see here, as Roberts goes back to take his kick, he was very deliberate. I like the way he sort of kicked through the ball. With that really hurt the reserves as well, Tubes. I think it was Van Cranen had 3 or 4 opportunities, and others as well. They didn't take it, and so they have the one set shot for a 100% record, and that'll really sort of settle the nerves as far as Lindisfarne's concerned.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. Just a settler there for the two Blues. Phillips got really high, tapped it out towards a teammate. The kick off the ground came from Barnett, and that one will go out of bounds, and we'll see another boundary throw-in. Yeah, I think Dan Willing will be happy with that. The fact that the Lions haven't been able to get a major on the scoreboard, and they were able to get it up there once and settle and goal, he'll be really happy with that.
Oh, without a doubt, as the throw-in comes in. Again, nice tap out towards Phillips, who's doing a really good job within the ruck. There's been an infringement, has a ducking the head there, and that's why he didn't get the free kick. I think it was an appeal there by Rogers, wondering why he didn't get the kick. Very stoic by the big man in Matt Phillips. He's been fantastic on the ball. He gets another tap out towards Martin, goes forward, but Huonville there to block. It is Martin who goes back in to get it again. Stolen by Douglas. There's some open spaces now. Coming out, heading out towards the ball is Brock. He can't get a goal, but a snap over the side under enormous pressure has gone out of bounds, and Lindisfarne to take the free kick.
Yep. Just out of bounds there for Timmy Lamprell. So the two Blues to bring it back. Nice long kick up the wing. Howlett will fly. Got fisted from behind. Now Tennick got his kick away. Blaisley at the bottom of the pack. Rose really well. Here comes Cassidy. Cassidy slipped. Unfortunate, and Housing will run it away for the Lions. That's a clever kick. Nice fist from deep. How about that punch from Dylan Johns as the ball rolls out towards the boundary? Elliott gets there first. He just pops it up. Going back with the flight. This one will be wrapped up by Kieran Rogers.
Gee, that was a crucial fist in there, wasn't it? In aid of our very dear friend Danny Frawley. We'd have been very proud of that one, Tubes. Getting the big fist in defence as it's going towards the boundary and out of bounds. But Dylan Johns, he's been crucial across half-back as we see that spoil again. He's taken 3 intercept marks and that crucial spoil.
So a boundary throw in the pocket. Rough one for the all in the contest there. Lamprell just fell over, and that one will go through for another boundary throw-in.
A couple of both power forwards, Timmy Lamprell and Cassidy, have find it hard to keep their feet, Tubes. They might have to make sure you get the old screw-ins.
Yeah, the old long studs. Anyway, this one comes out. Quick kick away there by Young. McIndoe's going to get there first. He turns around, he slips over as well. Just a quick kick away, and it's wrapped up there by Joey Miller. His kick goes longer still. Big fist from behind by Johns, and that one goes over the line for a ball in. People slipping over, but there has been a heck of a lot of footy played here at North Hobart in the last few weeks, Hoppy. The curators have done a great job.
Oh, they have. It's pretty sandy soil because the subsurface was replaced, so the drainage is wonderful. But when you do walk over, it's very soft, and I would encourage any kiddie who's playing footy here to have a longer style of stop. Maybe I can get my old Adidazzler 69ers out with the hammer and get those extra long studs in, Tubes.
Yeah, that'll be a free kick going to Cassidy. And I'll tell you what, he could have a shot from here, Cass. He's a beautiful kick of the footy. He won't, of course. But maybe if it was the old Malcolm Blight style grand final goal, he might have had a shot. That one goes out of bounds.
As you and I, Tubes, if you cut our veins, the navy blue comes out for Carlton, and we remember so Oh, nightmares when Malcolm Blight was, I think it gets further each time the story's regaled. We'll say 80 metres out after the siren, and it went almost through the goals at the top of them. Magnificent kick as Adams gets the handball out to Martin. And going down towards the goals, danger signs here as the ball bounced back towards Janes. And in his attempt to get that goal, good pressure being applied by the Huonville Lions defence. It's gone out of bounds.
Yep, so it'll be Cam Johns to bring it in for the Lions. Look at him. He stands out like a beacon there, Cam Johns. Sends it onto that same side. McIndoe flew. Blackburn comes up with it, but the free kick will go to Jimmy Mack. He kicks into the man on the mark. Blaisley got his handball over the top. Now Johns sends it inside forward 50. Cassidy flew high. Little bit of candy sold there by Adams. Adams around the corner. A ripper. Sam Adams gets his first and Lindisfarne second, and it is 9 points the margin, 20 minutes gone in the first term.
Clever play there by Adams. He knew that Cassidy was coming hard, and you can see the way he went around to the front and centre. There he was. Look at him coming across. And if anyone is watching from Huonville, you know that left footers always ease back on, and Sam is no favour like that. He'll always go on his left foot, and he turned back in, and it was an accurate kick and nicely done. So goals to Roberts and Adams have the two Blues sitting on 2 goals straight, 12 to the Lions, who have been into attack and had opportunity, 3 behinds. So now, good tap out by Ward. He's ably assisted by Douglas now. Backing back is Johns. I think Johns has been paid that mark across half back. And I think that's mark number 4, Tubes, across there for Dylan Johns.
Yeah, he's doing really well down there, the young fella. Out it comes now towards the long sleeve of Blaisley. He gets wrapped up in a nice strong tackle there. Stays in somehow. Punched away by the Lions. Douglas got shepherded off the ball, but it was picked up and driven forward by Reece Ward, and that one goes out of bounds for another boundary throw-in.
Yeah, Dylan Johns, the 21-year-old, just had his birthday the other night. I must be getting old, Tubes. I went up to celebrate with him. I was a friend of the family's, and I just asked for a couple of ales, and I was told to hand over $24. It's been a while since I've been out, but I thought that I only wanted to buy a beer, not invest in the pub.
There we go. There's been a holding free kick here. It'll go to the Lions. He's pretty happy with his work down there, Jules Parker. His kick just a little bit too much on it for his mate in Rundle, and it goes over the line in front of Big Matt Phillips, and we'll see another boundary throw-in.
It's stating the obvious, truth, but really the Lions would, you think, want to get a goal shortly just to get some belief. It's been 22 minutes of hard slog as they now go forward through the agency of Ward. It's close to the line and going in. You know, they've had some opportunities, and they haven't actually had a really good, strong lead up from a forward as such. So I'll be interested to watch that as it unfolds throughout the day. So Lindisfarne, to their credit, have been doing a very, very good job as Lamprell just tries to bludgeon that ball forward towards the goals. But at the bottom of the pack, how he has been so far for a lot of the day, is Justin Howlett.
Yeah, he's doing really well. Lamprell takes it out of the ruck, quick kick away. Howlett does what he does best, just throws it on the boot and sends it high. He's done that so many times. Lamprell going back with a flight, courageous, crazy stuff. Down at the bottom of the pack, that is Clark getting the kick off the ground. Slipping over there was Parker. Handball out by Blaisley. Finds a teammate in Hutchinson. Goes long. Now this ball inside forward 50, can't quite get it. Sticks Blackburn, got his handball away just as quick. Quick kick off the ground, going forward, and Roberts is going to have his second.
Yeah, that was a good transfer of the ball, wasn't it? Nice play by Adams. He quickly took the blinkers off. He saw that Roberts was running into the open goal. Got it to his advantage, and the system being used by the two Blues at the moment, Tubes, is, dare say, winning form.
Yep, very, very good stuff by the two Blues. I think just that flying back with the ball, big Timmy Lamprell going back with the flight, courageous as it was. Not a lot of talk there from his teammates, letting him know that one of his own players was underneath the footy.
Absolutely.
But unfortunately, the ball just rebounds up and it's a Lindisfarne goal. Down it comes into the arms of Rogers. His kick around the corner, trying to fist it away there. That was good by James. Just brought it to the front of the pack. And we'll see another ball up.
Okay. So it is the two Blues into attack. They have settled very, very nicely. Early stages of the 2019 EIS SFL Grand Final. It is Lindisfarne, very, very accurate. 3 goals straight 18 to Huonville Lions. Conversely, inaccurate with 3 behinds.
Downfield free kick will go to Cassidy for a connection after the footy. Cassidy sends it low and strong down towards his mate Sam Adams, who comes out and greets the footy right in the chin. And he'll go back and have a shot at his second. Gee, they're hard to take running like that, aren't they, Hoppy?
Yeah, he's got strong dukes as young Sammy, and you can see here plenty of muscle tone as well, the old boy, as he loves the gym workout, and it's really assisted him in becoming a better, stronger footballer as Adams goes in. Just as we pumped his tyres up there, Tubes, he almost sized that one to the side of his boot and out of bounds.
So Johns from a similar position to what he's been before. That is, of course, Cam Johns. He's got housing short if he wants. Everyone knows you don't kick it to the big Pumba. Nice mark taken there by the Lions player, and I think that's Reece Ward. Another short burner. It's chopped off there by Hutchinson. He plays on quickly. He's got a man in there, and Adams, I should say. Adams plays on quickly. No one on the mark.
Oh, as easy as you like there, Tubes. Sammy Adams has slotted that one through for his second goal. He couldn't believe the amount of time and space that he had when he turned around. He thought, I better go back, and he looked around and went, my goodness, no one's near me. I'll just waltz in and kick it. Have a look at this. They stopped.
A little bit too much chatter there from the Lindisfarne, Huonville players, Hoppy. And they are 4 straight, the Lindisfarne 2 Blues, as opposed to the Lions, who got the first 3 behinds of the game. And it was well and truly theirs for the taking early, but they just couldn't convert.
Concerns for the Lions, because all of a sudden they will look up at the scoreboard and start to, when one hopes not at this stage, it is only the end of the first quarter, but panic can set in. All of a sudden the frustration, panic can set in as the 2 Blues again going forward. They've got some really good system at the moment, and Tommy Roberts, who's got a couple, is going to go back, and he might fancy himself from here, Tubes.
Yeah.
As we have a look, we are directly behind him, and I reckon he could be a chance from here.
Yeah, he's a real lively player. He's a beautiful kick of the footy, and he will go back, and I reckon he'll thread this one, Hoppy. Approaches, just works away to the right-hand side. Gee, put the Mickey on him, haven't we?
But they got the numbers there of Huonville. Well played by Tennick to put the pressure on. Tennick screws the ball around. Very tough angle. It's close, but just misses on the near side. But a good, effective play by Brad Tennick. That's a Lindisfarne's first blemish on the scoreboard. They are 4-1-25, leading Huonville Lions 3 behinds.
Johns to bring the ball out, and I reckon if that one had gone through, Hoppy, that could have just really put a bit of a dampener on the Huonville Lions grand final aspirations. As we'll see another ball up here at half forward. Can't be long left in this first term. It's showing 28 minutes on the Jackson Motor Company scoreboard. The umpire will throw it up right in the paint. Phillips really taking control in the ruck there. Ward, though, won it over. He got his fist to the footy. Bouncing ball, Howlett, good on Lamprell. Tennick dives on the footy. Lamprell goes in, buries it in the crotch there of Brad Tennick, and we will see a ball up.
Yeah, they just haven't got any system yet, have the Lions, Tubes, have they?
They can't find space. And credit again to Lindisfarne, because it was almost like shoes on the opposite foot in the first 5 minutes of this term. And we'll see another ball up.
Yeah, all the hard running has been done by the 2 Blues, and because they've been able to effect that quick entry into their 50, they've looked really dangerous, and it's come off with a couple of goals to Adams. One was from a mark, one was from a front and centre, and a couple of accurate kicks by Roberts. And crucially, it was players like Cassidy to be able to bring the ball down front and centre for those running players.
Yep, so Thorpe now with a free kick. Just Westbury just caught holding the footy. His kick goes long, big fly over the back. Gee, that could have been a major collision. And now a chance for the Lions as they get some space. They'd love a goal. Douglas, he's so hard at the footy, needs to get it up. Handball's off. Here's a chance now for Elliott. Elliott around the corner, across the face of goal. Down there is Ethan Brock, and that one goes out of bounds.
Gee, there was an opportunity by Elliott. I thought he was going to straighten up there, Tubes, and run towards the goals, but he put it across. But there still is time for Huonville to salvage something out of this first quarter and be a wonderful fillet for them to get this goal to go into the break. As they come in, it is Lindisfarne all but take possession, and it's been knocked out, and another boundary throw in with nearly 30 minutes gone in the first quarter.
I'd love to see a goal here for Huonville just to make it a little bit interesting. So a boundary throw in right inside the forward 50 for the Lions. Where's Ethan Brock? Punched forward. Chance over the back. Just dribbled forward, and they'll be happy to see that across the line. Another behind for the Lions.
So 4 behinds to the Lions and 4 goals to Lindisfarne is the tale of the tape as they kick it out nicely as Blaisley is leading up. Clever footballer. Again, good leading by Cassidy, who's certainly got the little slips at the moment, so he's an experienced player. He'll probably change those studs, but look at him fighting hard, Tubes, not to let that ball out. He's presenting. That's the key thing at the moment.
And Housing's doing a great job on him down there. Nikolai. So, ball up, one down. Chance for the Lions to get it forward. A handball off nicely, found Mulder. His kick, though, only goes as far as Hutchinson. Turns around the corner, kicks away. Punched now. Lions need a goal here. There's a short man on as it's chopped off by the other Hutchinson. That's Matthew Hutchinson. There's your man, Johns, that got the handball away. Now a chance for the Lions. The handball comes off. There's a man on. Quick kick forward. Gee, they'd love a mark. Howlett's there, though. He does that so very often. Just reads the play beautifully.
He does that very nicely. He was good and steady. He went back and then took his time and then sized up his options. And a lovely, lovely clearance and marked out here by the 2 Blues, and it ends up in the hands of Blaisley.
Yep.
Blaisley. He's got a little bit of extra ink on that left arm, hasn't he?
Sure does. Blaisley now from centre wing, kicking the ball long in the Cassidy direction. He's got 5 or 6 Lions to beat, and Cam Johns floats across the front of the pack and takes the mark. Nothing really doing up for him on that wing position. He sees a man short, chopped off though, and the fist came in from Josh Young. We'll see another boundary throw in. 32 minutes this term's gone for, Hoppy.
Yes, it certainly has, and that's good spoil there by Joshua Young. Those 1%ers are really valuable, as Blaisley got a valuable tap out to the advantage again. Coming in, Cassidy, as always, has about 10 men on him. That's Cunliffe at the front and centre. He kicks right on the siren, but the umpire saying it's just missed crucially there for the Huonville Lions. That would have been a dagger in their heart. But it's been a very, very good performance there by Lindisfarne 2 Blues in the first quarter. Tommy Roberts has got a couple. Samuel Adams has got a couple. And if you're a Huonville Lions supporter, I sadly report that there are no goal kickers for them just yet, Tubes.
No, a pretty scrappy but entertaining game of footy that we've got on our hands. Lindisfarne just being a bit more cleaner when they go forward. Huonville just need, I think, to slow down a little bit, Hoppy. They're getting their possession. That pressure, though, the reason they're moving the ball so fast is because that pressure from Lindisfarne is constant. And even when they're not there, they have that, I know it's a cliche, I know, Hoppy, but that perceived pressure around the footy is what is happening for the Huonville Lions. So repeating, it is a 22-point margin here at quarter time in the EIS SFL Grand Final between the Huonville Lions and Lindisfarne. Lindisfarne in charge by 22 points. We'll take a quick break here at Duff TV and be right back with the second term in just a few moments. Stick around here on Duff TV.
In today's world of self-service, it's nice to know that there's still a place where you can sit back and relax. Bennett's Driveway Service, now at Snug, Lerner Valley and Sandy Bay. For more than 40 years, Bennett's Petroleum has been there for all Tasmanians.
All it does is call. And when you hear it, then it's up to you to act. Know your limits and come back for them later. Forget yesterday and tomorrow. Be here now. Drive to the edge of the map and then drive further.
In today's world of self-service, it's nice to know that there's still a place where you can sit back and relax. Bennett's Driveway Service, now at Snug, Lerner Valley and Sandy Bay. For more than 40 years, Bennett's Petroleum has been there for all Tasmanians.
All it does is call. And when you hear it, then it's up to you to act. Know your limits and come back for them later. Forget yesterday and tomorrow. Be here now. Drive to the edge of the map and then drive further.
In today's world of self-service, it's nice to know that there's still a place where you can sit back and relax. Bennett's Driveway Service, now at Snug, Lerner Valley and Sandy Bay. For more than 40 years, Bennett's Petroleum has been there for all Tasmanians.
All it does is call. And when you hear it, then it's up to you to act. Know your limits and come back for them later. Forget yesterday and tomorrow. Be here now. Drive to the edge of the map and then drive further.
In today's world of self-service, it's nice to know that there's still a place where you can sit back and relax. Bennett's Driveway Service, now at Snug, Lerner Valley and Sandy Bay. For more than 40 years, Bennett's Petroleum has been there for all Tasmanians.
All it does is call. And when you hear it, then it's up to you to act. Know your limits and come back for them later. Forget yesterday and tomorrow. Be here now. Drive to the edge of the map and then
So second term about to get underway as the crowd dissipates from the hallowed turf of North Hobart Oval. And Hoppy, you went down to the Lindisfarne huddle there at quarter time. Coach Dan Willing a bit fired up, was he?
Yeah, he was very calculated, measured, started very softly spoken, built to a little bit of a crescendo near the end. But I have to say, Tube, he was very happy.
Yep.
The only thing that he did comment was he wanted to isolate Cassidy more.
Yep.
So he was saying they need to give him a lot more space. And so he's really happy with the way they're bringing it in. Whatever it takes, you've just got to play on and really take the game on. That was crucial. I also had a word to the big man and asked him if he'd changed his studs, and he looked at me with a forlorn look over his brow. If only I bought them, Hoppy. So the old the boot stutter was down there firing a little bit of plastic, sharpening them up. So it'll be interesting to see if he can hold his feet. He did say it was quite slippery down there.
Tim Lamprey was pretty happy with the effort. He just said we need a bit more composure, keep the pressure up, need to be more composed as they go inside forward 50. 17 inside forward 50, so they were pretty happy with that. As the ball comes out for Martin, he just manages to swing round onto the right and lands in the arms of Clark. Clark left it behind though, spinning in a nice tackle, and the umpire should ball it up. No previous chance for disposal, so we'll see a ball up.
Up it goes. Big man facing off. I've liked the work there of Phillips. Cunliffe, as he always does, he just knows where the ball is. As coming out hard is Roberts, and he's been beset upon by defenders, and the last one to get the clutches round he was Callum Rawson, and it will be another ball up.
A ball up here inside forward 50 for the two Blues. Out it comes over the back here for Janes. He spins around to the old look away hand pass to Tennick. Big fist from behind. Another one again. The boys now from Huonville just doing the old volleyball style. Blaisley picked it up, got wrapped up in a tackle, holding the footy according to the umpire, and Cam Johns will be rewarded with a free kick.
Oh, Blaisley looked over and he said, I didn't have much prior, umpire. As soon as I got it, I looked up. But he said, that's the way I've been playing it, son. It's the grand final of the two elite teams. My expectation of you guys is to get the hands on the ball as Hutchison just blazes away on that left foot. That is as good a mark, Tubes, as you'd want to see. I think that was, who was that man?
That was Matty Schenk.
It was Schenk. I thought it was. Gee, that was a good mark. As now Huonville driving that one hard and low.
This has been their problem. How many intercept marks has there been down there for Lindisfarne? As that one comes back, Roberts flew high. The handball was just scooped backwards. Nice kick forward again by Callum Rawson. Now a chance as Hutchison goes back, collects the footy. He handballs off to a teammate there in goal who gets wrapped up around the neck. Umpire said nothing doing. Quick kick forward by Thorpe. Now a chance as they go forward, but too big, too strong is Ryan Edmondson.
Gee, that was a good mark by Edmondson. He very composed as he gets it out to Johns. Johns goes on his trusted left boot. A hard contest as both men go in on that one. And an appeal by Blaisley, and the umpire was having none of that. But those two men went very hard at the ball there, Tubes. It was
good contest.
It certainly was a good contest.
So ball up pretty much at centre wing, maybe just forward of centre on the Lindisfarne side. Out it comes, quick kick handball off to Janes, who just does a little bit of commando roll stuff and gets caught holding the footy. You can't commando roll through a barnacle, and Douglas will take the free kick. He's at the true centre wing position. Then he just pops it up down towards Lamprey, going back with the flight, nothing doing, boundary throwing.
Good attempt to mark there, but it's been taken over as Janes was disappointed. He's got good pace, but he wasn't able to evade a very strong tackle there by Huonville.
So ball in, inside forward 50 for the Lions. Lamprey takes it out of the ruck, handballs off to the barnacle on that left foot. He sends it long in towards the square, punched away from McIndoe, through for another behind. Zip 5-5, trail Lindisfarne 4-2-26. 19 points the margin here at North Hobart Oval.
Gee whiz, I like the scoreboard there, Tubes, as you look up. You're seeing the scores in other games coming across the bottom, which is great. Back in the day when that scoreboard came out, you had all the VFL games and you'd wait because you didn't have your live streams or your internet like we do now, and you just hope that the mighty Blue Boys in Carlton score would go up that was higher than their opposition. Remember those? You would have been born then,
No,
Tubes.
I remember it slightly. Very young.
You're being very kind
young.
to a silver-headed old gentleman next to your son.
Out it comes out the back. Here go the Lions. Slipped over there. That might have been Jackman as Hoppy gets a little bit angry because they just need the long stops in. A little bit too high there, so the free kick will go to Rogers. Rogers sends it long, and that mark is taken by Blaisley. He looks up, he's got Roberts down short, decides against that and goes longer still towards Cassidy. Housing from behind, Rove beautifully, Cunliffe. His kick is just a real high up and under and it's punched over the line. Good fist from Cal Rawson through for a behind.
And it was needed too, wasn't it? Blackburn was there and he's been hurt too, Tubes, by the two Huonville boys. You keep an eye on him as I keep an eye on the play as the ball comes out, leading up to it. Well picked up by Chivers. Chivers gets the give and go. It ends up with him. They're trying to get some system going because at the moment, the reality is the Lions don't have any system at all. It's because the two Blues are applying the blowtorch here in the grand final. The whistle has gone, but the umpire says play it to advantage. They need some inspiration. The ball goes close towards the goals and taking the mark is the skipper McIndoe, and he'll have to go back now and put this one through, Tube.
And I tell you what, the constant run of that man there, that was excellent effort by Adam Johns, just running through the middle of the ground. Also, I think he was backed up by Cal Rawson. Just constant effort from those two players. And McIndoe makes no mistake. He gets his first, and it's also the Lions' first, and they stay in touch. It's what they needed.
Yeah, they certainly do, Tubes, and we can hear from what is a very, very large Huonville crowd, and that has finally given them something to cheer about. That was much better movement, Tubes, wasn't it? It was quick, free-flowing, and it ended up with a man that was doubling back, and McIndoe took a strong mark.
Yeah, brilliant stuff. Captain's goal, they needed it, but that run through the middle of the ground was excellent. So we will see a ball up here at North Hobart Oval. Second term of the grand final between Huonville and Lindisfarne. It comes down to the Barnacle, and he's wrapped up. The Barnacle's usually doing the wrapping up, but I tell you what, Joshy Young jumped on the Barnacle and said, here's a bit of your own medicine.
Yeah, he wouldn't like that, so it's a big throw up. Ward at the bottom of the pack. Good tap out. Goes as far as was that Hutchinson, I think it was. Young, I apologise. And Blaisley, I thought Albert was going to take that. He's been awarded. Was that a push, Tubes? How did you see that?
Didn't see it. Didn't see any of that.
All right. Oh, look at that. Talk about the go-go gadget extension arms. Leading up and taking a nice tap out interception there was Adam Johns in the nick of time before it got into the clutches of a Lindisfarne attacking player.
Cassidy was coming hard. It takes real courage to jump in front of that freight train as that boundary throwing goes real high. Down it comes Cunliffe. This is what he does beautifully. He won't lose his feet. Johns, he manages to get a hold of the footy, looks for a handball, no one was there, and he gets his kick away. Westbury's going to get there first. He sits on the footy, gets tackled without it. The umpire will call a free. It'll go to Westbury for a hold off the footy.
Yeah, it was a 50-50 there, wasn't it?
Yep.
He played that really well, Westbury. He's just saying, well, this bloke's in my way. I'm trying to milk a 50 metres, but having none of it. Westbury with a very long toop has been spoiled, and it goes out of bounds. One of three boys in the Westbury family. They would have had a lot of fun up in the day.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a boundary throw in.
Right in front of that canteen. The first time I've ever seen that canteen open at North Hobart Oval. Great stuff. As it comes out, Westbury again over the footy. Good effort by, that is Clark that got his kick forward, and it's out of bounds on the full though. So the free kick will go to Shivers. Shivers to take the kick. Looks up. Not a lot of movement, so Lamprell comes from deep. Ignores him, and then just sends it long. Clark takes the mark. Shepherd off the footy. It'll go to, I think it'll go to Reece Ward here.
This is what they need, Tubes. 50-51 there that Huonville has won. They go in, but that's certainly that slow movement, and they were able to just chip back and get into the space and cut that one off. And well played by the two Blues as they mount another assault. It is Brad Tennick. Handball off to Johns. Johns unleashes a long raking left hook, but it's been hooked and goes across the side. was aiming for Roberts, but Huonville had the numbers and they chopped that one off.
That one goes out of bounds. Boundary throw in. So massive interchanges here happening boundary side. So we're back now at half forward for the two Blues. Ward does wrestle, maybe getting a push out here. Calls play on advantage. That kick's interesting, goes out wider still. Blaisley. Oh, brilliant stuff by Blaisley. That's holding the footy, plays on really quickly. Has Cassidy low. A little bit too much pepper on it for him. Out the back, Roberts from a tough pocket, cops one high. Umpire saw it and gets the free kick, does Roberts.
And he's a very dangerous forward, Tubes, so he'll go back and have another shot on goal. And the couple of the combatants, Cassidy coming out leading really, really hard. And don't you love to see that, Tubes, at the football? Every man and his dog is at the footy.
And you watch him chase this footy as Tommy Roberts just gets it on the boot. He's going to try the boo-na-na-na-na and straight through the middle for Tom Roberts. 3 goals already in the grand final for the skinny little man from Lindisfarne.
Gee whiz, that was a lovely shot on goal. He measured that one up as we have a look at the Mood Food replay, getting some advice from the Border Collie. He goes across that check side and look at the ball coming from left to right, and the umpire just watches it go straight over the top of his bonds. All clear for a goal. Two Blues are absolutely looking like winners. I know it's early, Tubes. I haven't called the game, but they are looking like winners.
They are flying, Hoppy, make no mistake. It's 6 scoring shots to 8, though, so it should be a bit closer than what it is if Huonville can just get a couple more goals. Scooping it back, that was clever by the Lindisfarne defender. It copped a little bit high, so it'll be a free kick going the way of, and 52 for stepping over. Gee, well, undisciplined stuff.
So he's trying to milk a little bit more as McIndoe is going straight up. I think that's going to be another one.
Yep.
You can't stand in front of the player.
That's the new rule. So mark this one down to Dan Mulder. He'll kick from directly in front. Just settle yourself, young man. He sends it through. Dan Mulder gets his first, and the Lions stay in touch. 2-5-17, trail Lindisfarne 6-3-39, 11 3/4 minutes gone in the second term.
Coach Willing will absolutely hate that. They had all the momentum, they had everything going their way. You never give the opposition an opportunity to get back in the game, and that's exactly what they did. It was like they just threw out their hand and say, come on, fellas, we don't like the way you're playing, have this goal, and that was a gimme.
The first one would have taken him down to about 35 metres out. Okay, it was going to be directly in front, but you've still got to kick him, don't you?
Absolutely.
The second one, pretty much unforgivable there. Anyway, back in the middle. Ruck contest won again by Lindisfarne, coming through Cunliffe. Gee, strong. He just tunnel balls it back. Nice pick up there by Martin. His kick goes down forward towards Tennick. Tennick grabs the footy and then gets wrapped up by Johns, who's trying to give him a little bit of ringa-rosy stuff, and we'll see a ball up.
It was a nice touch to see young Brad Tennick at the quarter-time break, just before he went back out. He was able to go over and get a little kiss from his son in the clutches of his old granddad, and I think that's the human touch of what it's all about here at the home of football, where everyone embraces, gets on the ground, you smell the liniment, and you're involved with the players. I think it's fantastic, and it's the only place to watch footy here in Tasmania, as Tennick gets the handball off to Westbury. Westbury, and going back, that was Ryan Martin who had a wall. And can't you can hear it, you can sense it. There's something building here too.
Certainly is, as John takes the free kick from half back. He sends it long. Who's down there for Huonville? They flew high. No one really got near it. Now a chance over the back. Lamprell dove at a teammate desperately. Couldn't quite hold on. James through the middle. Finds Cassidy. Looks up. Nothing really doing for him down there. So he decides to send it long. Here's a chance at the back for Sam Adams. He flies high. Oh, just went through the fingertips. Blaisley there. Hard at the footy again. Johns just tunnel balls it back. Tennick picks it up. Handballs off. Now they go again. Blaisley. Here's a chance for Dan Blaisley. Go!
Oh, what a good reply that was, Tubes. And this is what good teams do. As soon as they're challenged, they come back and get their own goal. So that was well played by the two Blues, because there were a couple of tackles there by Huonville, and you can get a sense from the crowd that were building for them. But True Blues, champions as they are at the moment, they're the current premiers, got that ball down quickly. Adams couldn't take the mark, but they kept it in there, and I think it was a nice shot by Blaisley to put that one through for a goal.
Yeah, he didn't give up there, Blaisley. He kept going. Opportunistic goal, brilliant. Back in the middle. They've changed the man in the ruck there. Looks like they've put Tyler Clark in the middle. And the umpire will ball it up again. Bit of a sandpit out there, isn't it, Oppie?
Yeah, it is, Luce. As I think I mentioned prior, Tubes, that this ground now has got a huge subsurface in it for the drainage. There's a lot of sand that was brought in, and once that grass had been worn off, the sand had come to the surface. As the ball comes further afield is the two Blues. Let's see how they go in their defensive area there as Huonville pick it up. That was the skipper, McIndoe, couldn't get his foot on the ball. It was a bit of a smother, and I think there's a two Blue down there that came from that one too, Tubes.
Yeah, I think it could be Case Miller. Yes, it is. He'll be very sadly missed if he's out for the game. That one, Blackburn takes the mark, turns around, kicks long. Cassidy came hard at the footy. The old two grabber manages to take the mark, and 52. Well, very quick 50. Still down behind play, Case Miller, and looks like Cassidy's going to get a shot on goal. We'll see this again. Oh,
he got a kick.
Kicked.
Yeah, he was kicked. So Cassidy, with his familiar style of walking down, putting a mark in the ground where he's going to go straight at the goals. Cassidy, senior player with Hobart, Lauderdale, very good footballer as they pump his tyres up. That particular occasion has pushed it to his left through for the minor score. As we see the JMC Motor Company scoreboard, it is Lindisfarne 6-4-40 to Huonville 2-5-17.
That kick's going to go out of bounds, I think, and double grab mark's been paid. So Tyler Clark takes the mark at half back for the Lions. Got a short option here. Oh, yuck. That's out of bounds on the full. So the two Blues will bring it back in.
That one never looked like going in, did it, Tubes? It was right off the side of his boot.
Plays on quickly. Does goal. Deep inside forward 50. Gee, no one from Lindisfarne really wanted that footy. Happy to kill it across the line, Tom Jackman. Lindisfarne 6-6-42. Lead Huonville 2-5-17 in the 2019 SFL Grand Final.
In an attempt to bring that ball in quickly. It was an attempt to mark by Rogers, but it went through his fingers. So getting it down towards the leading Lamprell. He slips over at the wrong time. So the two Blues have the numbers, and they're doing that nicely. Big Matty Phillips, handball's dead set over again. Well picked up by Janes. He goes back indoors towards Tennick. Tennick can't get an effective possession, and it's Huonville who go through the agency of Ward back towards centre half forward. Again, it's not a lot of system. It's just a matter of bludgeoning that ball forward and going to contest to contest to contest. As Hutchison's there good enough. He slipped over again. We've got to go and get those long stops on, Tubes.
Yep, absolutely. That was a quick kick forward by Ethan Brock. Miller came out to meet it. Hutchinson got his handball off to Miller. Miller kept running. Good effort and a nice long kick. Fist again by Johns, goes out of bounds.
Great play there by Miller, wasn't it? No nonsense. You can see that the red hair just going in the breeze. He just kept running hard at the ball, one possession, and from the back pocket has cleared it right out towards the wing.
Yep, brilliant stuff by the blood nut of the Millers. That's Joey Miller. Punched away again. Tennick's going to get there first. He's tackled, maybe without the footy, somehow kept it in. It's out of bounds. We'll see another boundary throw-in.
So a bit of a lull in play. It's a bit of an arm wrestle at the moment. Huonville 2-5-17. Lindisfarne 6-5-41.
Can't be long left, Hoppy.
Yeah, so certainly it has been Lindisfarne who have had the systems going better, as Tannick can't quite pull that one in again. He slips over, going hard and at it. and it'll be another ball up.
It's only 4 goals the margin here, so Huonville just probably want this quarter to end and to reset.
Yeah, absolutely. So now Rogers goes on to his left boot. That's the position you don't really want to be in when you have someone like Sammy Adams charging out towards the ball. So good courage there. It's Young, gets the handball back in turn towards Tennick, and he gets a scrambly old kick that goes forward, but Huonville are able to mop that one up.
Gee, that kick needed to be quicker. Nice mark by Douglas. Douglas has a man in the middle. It is Tristan Barnett, but that kick is just not good enough, and it's chopped off by Kieran Rogers.
For me, Rogers has been one of the more dominant players out there, Tubes. I've liked his game as a midfield player in and under, and he's not only has he been good in that area, he's got possessions both offensively and defensively, but some of his key possessions have been down in defence.
Yeah,
he's been a really good player.
Absolutely, and I was just about to touch on Cam Johns. He has really held up the fist down back and just keeping Huonville in it. Tennick jumps on the footy. The jumping on him was Tyler Clark, sorry. And we will see a ball up.
You mentioned a minute ago, Tubes, about seeing that canteen open.
Yeah.
Well, you know who's opened it up?
Who's
the
that?
hard-working president of the North Hobart Football Club, Kizzy Martin's over there.
Oh, is he?
He's in there. You can see the grey frizzy locks with his shading from the sun. That's because I think they've got the rights to the canteens here, so he's just going over there, ka-ching, 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 with all the cash going into the North Hobart tills. It's coming out, taking a cracker of a mark, is the power forward from Lindisfarne, Michael Cassidy.
And there's nothing you can do when he wants to take a mark like that. Well, let's take another look at this. The kick came in nice and high, and someone just needed to get a body on him there. He was...
3 around him, Tubes.
So Cassidy, from a very similar spot,
lines it up, and he has missed that one. That was a very, very good mark, but he just couldn't push that one through.
Well, 22 minutes gone in the second term. Huonville fly the ball out long. Running through at the footy is Johns. Tennick. Quick kick smothered by Brock. And we will see a ball up.
Good tackle by Tennick. He goes in pretty hard for a very, very light frame young man. Courageous runner and courageous player, as it'll be another stoppage. Comes back in there towards Martin. The umpire says it's not going to get out, so let me throw that one up. It is 22 minutes gone in this second quarter.
Ball up here. Tennick taps it down. Coming through nicely was Martin, left without the footy. Picked up, cleared by the Lions. Handball back to Brock. Brock just sends it up. But guess who's down there? Johns. As that one bounces over his head, here comes the Barnacle up against Joey Miller. The Barnacle does well. Got his handball up. Quick kick forward was by Ward. Who's down there?
Oh!
Lamprell off the ground. Goal!
Great play there by Lamprell to take that mark and push that ball forward. He just wheeled that one, and you can sense that they're certainly back in the game here, Tubes.
Yeah, absolutely, and the coach there just trying to breathe in some life into this Huonville line side. There goes the Barnacle slipping over. That quick kick inside forward 50 was by Ward. It just held his ground nicely, and I reckon Jussie Howlett might have thought he was a little bit hard done by, perhaps by the umpires, but it's gone through for a goal. And Lamprell keeps the Lions in touch. 3-5-23 to Lindisfarne, 6-6-42.
Yes, well, he just held his feet. Held his feet, didn't he, there, the big fella Lamprell, and protected the drop zone of where the ball was going, and did a very, very nice job.
Here they go again, the Lions trying to will themselves back into this contest. The handball came out, but it didn't go too far. He got his handball, the umpire said. Out it comes the back here. Spinning around, Phillips got caught with the footy. Just tapping it forward. Lamprell's going to go hard at the footy again. He's happy to see it across the line. We'll see a ball in.
So nearly 24 minutes gone here in the second quarter. And we have Lindisfarne 6-6-42 in front of a resurgent Huonville Lions 3-5-23. And Tubes, wouldn't they just love another major here?
Ward got the tap down. Phillips went back and got it. Out it comes to the lines. The handball came a little bit too far, and that's a slinging tackle. So down behind play is the little man, Brodie Rundle. He looks okay, though, as he looks up and says, "Did I get a free kick, sir?" And they say, "Yes, you did, young man."
Fair way out here, Tubes. I
Yep.
think it's beyond his distance, so he knows his limitations. He gets the handball off to a designated kicker, but that one has gone on the near side and directly over the line, and Howlett will take the relieving kick as the lights are on here at North Hobart Oval. There's plenty of sun still, though, Tubes.
Oh, yeah. There's a big fly from Blackburn. He didn't get near it, though. McIndoe got the kick forward. Who's going back with the flight? No one wanted it. Here's a chance that that one's a little bit maybe higher. The Barnacle doesn't like getting them like that. They bury in. Gee, I love the way he buries in. Watch him. He gets out. He's going to get his kick away, just keep going. And now he's caught holding the footy. Well, let him go. Let him go. He's my favourite player. Let him have it.
Oh, didn't he work hard, the Barnacle?
Oh, yeah.
He did a great job. He had tried to effect a kick, but it just missed it given he was laying flat on his back as Cassidy wheels around. You know, he's a long, raking kick, but backing back, taking a timely mark, is Adam Johns for Huonville.
He goes longer still, and it bounces off the chest. Blaisley's the recipient as it goes down towards Blackburn, and he will go back and he will have a shot.
He goes back, and you know he's just going to take his time. He goes on this predicted long run. Very unusual style, Tubes, but it's normally pretty accurate.
Yeah, he's a beautiful kick of the footy, Mickey Blackburn. Big sticks. And you wouldn't think it looking at him here, but I promise you, he's a redhead.
Oh, turn it up.
He's got a ginger beard. We call him Big Red Beard around the footy traps. So in he comes. He's an interesting style of kick. As he comes in, he's a magnificent straight kick, though. Look at that. And then he flexes up too. Don't worry about that.
Not a lot to flex.
No.
But
not
very, very effective, wasn't it, Tubes?
Yeah, have a look at this. Like knots in cotton there around the arms of Mickey Blackburn. He's got a bit of Ben Brown about him, doesn't he?
Yes.
As he comes in, and that is as straight as a die.
Let's put that in perspective. Ben Brown's got the Mitchy Blackburn about him.
Yeah, true.
I think he was the first one that I've seen do that run in. But nevertheless, it is the two Blues, 7-6-48. Commanding lead at this stage from your Huonville Lions, 3-5-23. Deep into this second quarter, 27 minutes gone. Picking that ball up was Rundell, trying to burst his way through. Unfortunately, I think there for Rogers, he got into the head area of his Huonville opponent, and that is sacrosanct as far as the umpire is concerned. And Dylan Johns running backwards with the ball, taking a very nice mark.
He's having a great game, isn't he? Miller back on the ground, good to see. His kick goes down the throat of Roberts. Roberts looks up. He's got a man at half forward in Clark. Clark slipped over in the sun, so he misses the footy, but it's okay. She lays a Shepherd nicely, then handballs straight into a Falcon. Nicely worked by the Lions. They've got numbers around the footy, though, do Lindisfarne. Out it comes for Rogers. Kicks back to Phillips. Phillips goes long, down towards Blackburn and co. Now they trip over. He manages to keep his feet, just kicks off the ground. Johns is going to mop this one up, though. His handball, as good as a kick. Then a short one again. Just a little dribbler. Pushing him off the ball. Phillips does well. Got his handball out nicely towards Rogers. Back to Phillips. Up high. Big fly. John should wrap this one up. Doesn't. Cunliffe did enough to affect the spoil. Then went back and got it. Cunliffe from a tough spot over the top of the goal square. And now the Lions will get it out in space.
Yeah, he tried to get it to the top of the square, did Cunliffe unselfishly. And look at that spoil. Gee whiz, just love that sort of stuff as Adams just threw himself at it to put the blockage off, and he's just telling the opposition a little bit about it as he copped one in the tummy. But the umpire was having absolutely none of that. What's happened here? Has there been a report here, Tubes?
I'm not sure.
I think.
Yeah, against...
Oh, I think there might have been a bit of lip. I'm just not sure what's happened there. A bit of confusion.
I think Sam Adams might have been a little bit upset with the kick in the guts, and he's mouthed off at the umpire, and umpire said, "You can't do that, mate. It'll be a free kick against."
So the ball goes in as Big Cass goes up, but he can't come down with the ball. Lindisfarne are just really swarming. They remind me of a beehive, all the worker bees smothering around their Queen Cassidy, but it only goes as far as Cameron Johns, one of the 3 Johns on the field, Tubes, and he's taken a comfortable mark.
Yep. So Johns to send the ball out of his immediate area. Numbers here with the Lions. They've got players everywhere. Out it comes now for Sullivan. Sullivan looks up. He's got no one to kick to. There's players everywhere down there for the two Blues. That's where they were, if you were wondering. And the mark taken by Hutchinson.
Yeah, they could have raffled that one up, and it was Matthew Hutchinson took that one in front of Dylan Johns as they're moving it very, very nicely. And without a doubt, at the moment, Lindisfarne 2 Blues are playing a much better brand of footy, Tubes.
Well, their delivery is better, and their calmness around the footy is beyond that of the Lions.
Absolutely agree with you there, and it's going to be interesting to see how the Lions come out at half-time, but they've got to get to that half-time break without any more damage being done upon them, as it's on the old Ride Street wing, the old Georgie Miller stand, and to be another ball in. You can see, look at those fans there, Tubes. They're just bathed in sunshine. They're just having a cracker of an afternoon here at North Hobart Oval, the home of football.
Not enough shorts out there as Clark manages to get on the end of that one. He sends it high. Who's down there? Blackburn trying hard again. Johns was all over him. Through it comes now for that man in Adams. His kick, handball went to Blackburn. Maybe holding the footy. Huonville with a rush kick out and just managed to hold on here. So Huonville trail 3-5-23 to Lindisfarne 6-7-48. The margin out to 25 points. It was the same margin at quarter time, essentially 22 points. The goal kickers for the two Blues, 3 to Tom Roberts, 2 to Sam Adams, then singles to Mickey Blackburn and Dan Blaisley. For the Lions, it was Jimmy McIndoe, Tim Lamprell and Daniel Mulder with 1 apiece. Hoppy, how did you see that first half?
Well, the first half, they came out very willingly. The Huonville Lions had all the ascendancy early on, but didn't hit the scoreboard. And that's when Lindisfarne, they got it down there. They got the first one straight, second and third, 3 in a row. And they just look the better team when they've got the ball going into their 50. Their delivery into the 50 has been deep. It's been true. As we can see here, the Huonville boys are just standing tall and just having a bit of a chat.
Timmy Lamprell's got him in nice and close. And he's having a go at him. They might need a little bit of a rocket. But it's all about reset now, because they are in the play. It's a really even contest. It's just that Lindisfarne have just been way more efficient, Hoppy. So we'll take a quick break here at halftime in the SFL Grand Final between the Huonville Lions and Lindisfarne. It is Lindisfarne by 25 points. Stick around. Tubes and Hoppy back with you on Duff TV in just a few moments. The ball moves quickly forward through Brodie Rundle's hands. Howlett, though, he's standing there firm. Gets a nice shepherd, does this player who just got the kick forward and leading out, taking a strong mark. Brad Sullivan from a tough pocket. He'll go back and have a shot. Where somehow the ball's come out. There's a free kick to the Lions. Out it comes, though. That's a quick torpedo. Nicely worked by Rogers. Big fly over the back, though. Mark taken by Rawson.
There's the man there. He's Rundle for Huonville at the bottom. Pushed out by Tennick, doing the hard yards for a small man. I think that might be in the back. It certainly is, Tubes, and here is a huge opportunity for the two Blues to score their first major for the day.
Yeah, Tom Roberts just willed himself at that contest and managed to fall over the footy. And Tom Roberts is one of the best kicks in the SFL. And yeah, just a little bit overzealous there by big Tommy Jackman. So Tom Roberts from a slight angle. Distance won't be a problem, and accuracy won't either. Tom Roberts gets his first, and also the first for the game, would you believe? Just a lazy 14, nearly 15. Tennick got his kick away. Blaisley at the bottom of the pack, rose really well. Here comes Cassidy. Cassidy slipped, unfortunate, and Housing will run it away for the Lions. That's a clever kick, nice fist from deep. How about that punch from Dylan Johns as the ball rolls out towards the boundary? Elliott gets there first. He just popped the top. Now Johns sends it inside forward 50. Cassidy flew high. Little bit of candy sold there by Adams. Adams around the corner. A ripper. Sam Adams gets his first and Lindisfarne second, and it is 9 points the margin. 20 minutes gone in the first term. Doing really well. Lamprell takes it out of the ruck. Quick kick away. Howlett does what he does best. Just throws it on the boot and sends it high. He's done that so many times. Lamprell going back with a flight. Courageous, crazy stuff. Down at the bottom of the pack. That is goes long. Now this ball inside forward 50, can't quite get it. Sticks Blackburn, got his handball away just as quick. Quick kick off the ground, going forward, and Roberts is going to have his second.
Yeah, that was good transfer of the ball, wasn't it? Nice play by Adams. He quickly took the blinkers off. He saw that Roberts was running into the open goal.
Plays on quickly. He's got a man in there in James. Adams, I should say. Adams plays on quickly. No one on the mark.
Oh, as easy as you like there, Tubes. Sammy Adams has slotted that one through for his second goal. He couldn't believe the amount of time and space that he had when he turned around. He thought to the end of the first quarter, but panic can set in. All of a sudden, the frustration, panic can set in as the two Blues again going forward. They've got some really good system at the moment. And Tommy Roberts, who's got a couple, is going to go back. And he might fancy himself from here, Tubes. Yeah. He, as always, has about 10 men on him. That's Cunliffe at the front and centre. He kicks right on the siren, but the umpire saying it's just missed crucially there for the Huonville Lions. That would have been a dagger in their heart. But it's been a very, very good performance there by Lindisfarne 2 Blues in the first quarter. Tommy Roberts has got the blowtorch here in the grand final. The whistle has gone, but the umpire says play it to advantage. They need some inspiration. The ball goes close towards the goals, and taking the mark is the skipper McIndoe, and he'll have to go back now and put this one through, Tube.
And I tell you what, the constant run of that man there, scooping it back, that was clever by the Lindisfarne defender. It copped a little bit high, so it'll be a free kick going the way of, and 52 for stepping over. Gee, well, undisciplined stuff.
So he's trying to milk a little bit more as McIndoe is going straight up. I think that's going to be another one.
Yep.
You can't stand in front of the player.
That's the new rule. So mark this one down to Dan Mulder. He'll kick from directly in front. Just settle yourself, young man. He sends it through. To send it long. Here's a chance at the back for Sam Adams. He flies high. Oh, just went through the fingertips. Blaisley there. Hard at the footy again. Johns just tunnel balls it back. Tenick picks it up. Handballs off. Now they go again. Blaisley. Here's a chance for Dan Blaisley. Goal!
Oh, what a good reply that was here. So he's just going over there, ka-ching, 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 with all the cash going into the North Hobart Tills. Is coming out, taking a cracker of a mark.
Cleared by the Lions. Handball back to Brock. Brock just sends it up. But guess who's down there? Johns. As that one bounces over his head, here comes the Barnacle up against Joey Miller. The Barnacle does well, got his handball up. Quick kick forward was by Ward. Who's down there?
Oh!
Lamprell off the ground, goal!
Great play there by Lamprell to take that mark. And
Ginger beard, we call him Big Red Beard around the footy traps. So in he comes. He's an interesting style of kick. As he comes in, he's a magnificent straight kick though. Look at that. And then he flexes up too. Don't worry about that.
Not a lot to flex.
No.
But
not
very, very effective, wasn't it, Tubes?
Yeah, have a look in space.
Yeah, he tried to get it to the top of the square, did Cunliffe unselfishly. And look at that spoil. Gee whiz, that just love that sort of stuff.
In today's world of self-service, it's nice to know that there's still a place where you can sit back and relax. Bennett's Driveway Service, now at Snug, Lerner Valley and Sandy Bay. For more than 40 years, Bennett's Petroleum has been there for all Tasmanians.
All it does is call. And when you hear it, then it's up to you to act. Know your limits and come back for them later. Forget yesterday and tomorrow. Be here now. Drive to the edge of the map and then drive further.
In today's world of self-service, it's nice to know that there's still a place where you can sit back and relax. Bennett's Driveway Service, now at Snug, Lerner Valley and Sandy Bay. For more than 40 years, Bennett's Petroleum has been there for all Tasmanians.
All it does is call. And when you hear it, then it's up to you to act. Know your limits and come back for them later. Forget yesterday and tomorrow. Be here now. Drive to the edge of the map and then drive further.
In today's world of self-service, it's nice to know that there's still a place where you can sit back and relax. Bennett's Driveway Service, now at Snug, Lerner Valley and Sandy Bay. For more than 40 years, Bennett's Petroleum has been there for all Tasmanians.
All it does is call. And when you hear it, then it's up to you to act. Know your limits and come back for them later. Forget yesterday and tomorrow. Be here now. Drive to the edge of the map and then drive further.
In today's world of self-service, it's nice to know that there's still a place where you can sit back and relax. Bennett's Driveway Service, now at Snug, Lerner Valley and Sandy Bay. For more than 40 years, Bennett's Petroleum has been there for all Tasmanians.
All it does is call. And when you hear it, then it's up to you to act. Know your limits and come back for them later. Forget yesterday and tomorrow. Be here now. Drive to the edge of the map and then drive further.
In today's world of self-service, it's nice to know that there's still a place where you can sit back and relax. Bennett's Driveway Service, now at Snug, Lerner Valley and Sandy Bay. For more than 40 years, Bennett's Petroleum has been there for all Tasmanians.
All it does is call. And when you hear it, then it's up to you to act. Know your limits and come back for them later. Forget yesterday and tomorrow. Be here now. Drive to the edge of the map and then drive further.
In today's world of self-service, it's nice to know that there's still a place where you can sit back and relax. Bennett's Driveway Service, now at Snug, Lerner Valley and Sandy Bay. For more than 40 years, Bennett's Petroleum has been there for all Tasmanians.
All it does is call. And when you hear it, then it's up to you to act. Know your limits and come back for them later. Forget yesterday and tomorrow. Be here now. Drive to the edge of the map and then drive further.
In today's world of self-service, it's nice to know that there's still a place where you can sit back and relax. Bennett's Driveway Service, now at Snug, Lerner Valley and Sandy Bay. For more than 40 years, Bennett's Petroleum has been there for all Tasmanians.
All it does is call. And when you hear it, then it's up to you to act. Know your limits and come back for them later. Forget yesterday and tomorrow. Be here now. Drive to the edge of the map and then drive further.
In today's world of self-service, it's nice to know that there's still a place where you can sit back and relax. Bennett's Driveway Service, now at Snug, Lerner Valley and Sandy Bay. For more than 40 years, Bennett's Petroleum has been there for all Tasmanians.
All it does is call. And when you hear it, then it's up to you to act. Know your limits and come back for them later. Forget yesterday and tomorrow. Be here now. Drive to the edge of the map and then drive further.
In today's world of self-service, it's nice to know that there's still a place where you can sit back and relax. Bennett's Driveway Service, now at Snug, Lerner Valley and Sandy Bay. For more than 40 years, Bennett's Petroleum has been there for all Tasmanians.
All it does is call. And when you hear it, then it's up to you to act. Know your limits and come back for them later. Forget yesterday and tomorrow. Be here now. Drive to the edge of the map and then drive further.
Well, the lights are on here for the third term of this SFL Grand Final between the Huonville Lions and Lindisfarne. And Hoppy, the game's certainly not done by any stretch, but Huonville have had some wasted opportunities, whereas Lindisfarne have just kept pressuring and pressuring and pressuring, and they're in charge.
Yeah, they are certainly in charge. It's going to have to be a Herculean effort by the boys from down at Huonville to come back from here, because the reality is they just haven't been in the game as yet.
No.
As Cunliffe has picked off where he left in the next last quarter. It's Rogers who goes on to his trusted big left boot, goes over to Johns, one of the three on the ground. Tennick. Tell you what's slipping over, Tubes. I had a good walk around the oval. There is more sand than grass out there. There is no doubt about that. So you certainly do need your long stops on.
Like playing down at Dodgers Ferry, potentially, Hoppy,
yes,
where perhaps the Lions played their last game of footy, actually, as that boundary throwing comes in. Phillips does well, got his kick away somehow, and burying underneath there, we will see a boundary throw up. Of course, the Huonville Lions lost a really talented player a couple of weeks ago in Jared Lawler, who was off to the US to study at Texas. So he's pretty sadly missed as the ball comes out. Here's a chance. Blaisley got his kick forward. Which way does this one bounce out in front of Clark for another boundary throw-in?
Yeah, they probably can't afford to have some of their talent leave them. It's a crucial time of the season. But we know that they earned their spot in here. They were the first one to qualify when they defeated Dodgers Ferry at Shark Park. That was a magnificent victory as Tennick picks it up. Tennick goes towards the goals, and Tennick has kicked the first goal of the third quarter, and that will really give them a boost, the two Blues. So it is two Blues, 8-6-54, a commanding position at this stage, Tubes. 3-5, 23 Huonville Lions.
Yeah, 31 points is a pretty tough comeback from here, but the Lions have had some pretty good third quarters in the past. Of course, over at Lindisfarne down at Dodgers kicking 13 and a quarter, but Tennick too smooth a customer to let have that much space, and he makes you pay. And it went through the middle. So back in the middle. Ruck one down and through the sandpit they go. Quick kick forward. Out comes Miller. He can't get a hold of the footy. That one just dribbles forward. Westbury taps it around like a little hot potato. Out it comes for Schenk. Now Douglas with the bit of time. His kick goes deep down towards Lamprell. Big fly. Nice mark. Brock.
Gee, that was a beauty, wasn't it, Tubes? And how amazing is it, excuse me, if you can get the ball in quickly to your forwards, give them an opportunity one-on-one, and Ethan Brock flew really high and took a wonderful mark.
Well, the kick was interesting from the Barnacle, but I'll tell you what, Ethan Brock is a prodigious talent, as we've said. Now, he must kick this goal. He's a beautiful kick of the footy. And if he really starts to get his hand on the ball, as that one goes through, Ethan Brock has his first, and the first for the quarter for the Lions. And the margin now down to 25 points.
Yeah, that was a good goal there, good lead. Conversely, they choose, if that ball was dropped, there were 3 defenders there ready to go and run that ball out. So it was a very, very timely mark. Yep,
timely mark from Ethan Brock, who went back and slot it through. So it's really starting to get dark here, Hoppy.
You just noticed that before. We were thinking just prior to the half-time break why they got the lights on. Well, they know more than us, as Lindisfarne breaking out through that quick transfer of the ball and through for the minor score. There's no doubt about it. By the time the game finishes, Tubes, those floodlights of I think it's 3,000 lux will take full effect.
So the ball comes out now. Interesting kick in towards Housing, slipped through his fingers. The Barnacle gets a nice shepherd from Housing, quickly up the line. That one's going to be chopped off. Easy mark for Mulder. I beg your pardon, that's actually Edmondson into the middle. Finds his man in Rogers. Rogers quickly down towards Cassidy, who went up and flew, but out the back now for Parker. Short one. Finds Shivers. Handballs over to that man in Johns. Nice strong mark down there for Schenk. Quickly moves the ball off to a teammate in Ward.
Yes,
so they're looking a little bit better now, Hoppy.
Yep, they're just sort of trying to take their time and get it in the hands of their players as they find some space now. There'll be another short pass on, and that's the way it ends up with Thorpe. Thorpe now, this will be the long possession. It needs to be deep and getting in really good position. Gee whiz, that was nice play by Johns. Dylan Johns, he's of strong body. He's put on a little bit of girth there. Nice, strong through the hips, isn't he?
Yeah.
He was a very slightly framed boy when he was down at Lauderdale, a good runner, and he's just now a man. And that's basically in a man's frame as Huonville pick it up. Ward squews that back around with no system whatsoever, but it's going end on end. A couple of Lindisfarne boys bump into each other as McIndoe screws the ball back towards Lamprell, but to no avail. It's out of his clutches, and there'll be a boundary throw-in.
They just need to slow things down again, Hoppy, and I think in the first part of this third term, they've looked pretty good, just as they just attack with some real precision in their kicking. So back now, tap down the throat of a running man in Barnett, and the umpire will ball it up just at the top point of the square.
I really like that play there, Tubes. I put it to you, that was all but a set play. You could see them talking and communicating, and the ruckman got it to his advantage. He ran into the goal, and it was good play by Lindisfarne just to read that play as Cassidy leads out again. He can't take possession of the ball. This time it goes back to Rawson. A strong tackle by the skipper, trying to inspire his teammates back towards Johns. Fumbling one on that particular occasion, almost a bit of a headlock. They're starting to become quite willing now. They're over the ball. It's in dispute. It's the tough nut there in Miller who pushes it towards the line, and it'll be another boundary throw in.
John's really clever there at centre wing, just to slow things down and send a low burner down towards half forward. So a boundary throw in here. Lindisfarne with numbers around the footy. Out it comes out the back. There's a runner. If they can get it off for Elliott. Elliott ducked his head. He caught one a little bit high. Umpire on the wrong side to see that, and he will ball it up about 40 metres out, directly in front of the Huonville goal.
There's a sense of expectation, excuse me, around the crowd at the moment, Tubes, in that there's a thinking that if Huonville can eke out this goal, that'll really set them alight. They've got a big crowd here to support them, and that's what they're hoping for, is taking a nice mark is Parker. They're going the long way home as Kennick mops that one up. He runs and gets the drop punt, goes towards Cassidy. Again, he's been the main focal point to go to. trying to push that one across was Barnett. Back through the centre of the ground, evading a couple was Rundell. He's been intercepted, and that chop-off mark was Johns. It's interesting doing similar roles. Cameron Johns for Huonville Lions and Dylan Johns for Lindisfarne.
Yep. His kick came in towards Roberts. Johns probably been best on for Huonville in my opinion. Now for the Lions, it goes forward towards McIndoe. He plays on quickly, tries to run around Howlett. Howlett applies some pressure, and that kick will be chopped off by Edmondson very easily. So at halfback, Ryan Edmondson pops it up. Big fly here, good shepherd. James ends up with a footy. Now a long one down in the Blackburn direction. They fly high, big fist from behind. Who's down there for the two Blues? It's chopped off nicely. The Lions just quickly move the ball out, and I'll tell you what, it's out on the full again. And I reckon Cal Rawson has had a fair amount of footy today, but he's butchered it quite a bit. This one, though, the Lions will get out.
Yeah, it certainly is. It was Husing there. But have a look at this. A beautiful tackle by the big man. And Cassidy is going to go back and have a shot to go. You know you're going well when your power forwards who just like to lead up, they turn back and put second and third efforts. And we'll watch here on the Mood Food replay tubes. You know you're going to have a good day.
Well, there's one bloke out there who I would hate to be wrapped up in a big tackle, and that is the big Cass. Have a look at this. McIndoe just had to wait for it. He thought he'd get through there. And, gee, you just don't want to be wrapped up by big Mick Cassidy, do you?
So Cassidy coming in, deliberate look on goal. He's put it a bit to the right, but I think it's good enough from by the sounds of the spectators behind. And Cassidy is really starting to have an influence on this game. That's his first goal, but he's been instrumental. Not only every time he's let out Tubes, he's had a couple on him, so they've had to man him up. And if he hasn't taken it, which he'll bring it to the ground, and that's brought your Tannicks and your Adams, these sort of guys, into the game.
Yeah, absolutely, Hoppy. And a target like Michael Cassidy at a footy club, that's what they're sort of missing down forward for Huonville. They miss big Mickey Paul, don't they? Mm-hmm. Anyway.
It straightens them up, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Through the middle now. Nice tackle laid. That one's wrapped up. We'll see another ball up. Yeah, he's had a great season in the TSL, of course, with Kingborough. But they really do miss him down forward for the Lions.
And the problem for the Lions, if they get any further behind, they don't have any option. They can't finesse and go wide. They just literally have to get the ball the shortest way home. And Lindisfarne will know that, and Coach Willing will know that, and he can counteract that by putting probably an extra player there. Johns has been doing that really well all day. He'll be able to just drift across in front of the pack and take those marks.
So Joshy Young's caught one in the ear hole here, and he'll come off potentially for a bit of a break.
Any blood there, Tubes?
No. Umpires, for some reason, just let it go. Sean Clark in the ruck, interesting. Down it comes for Edmondson. Running on was Tennick, couldn't quite. Out it comes now for Blaisley. The handball was good. That one was a throw. Umpire on the wrong side again of that one. Hard at the footy from the Lions. That's great stuff. They really need someone to take this game by the scruff of the neck. Couple of quick goals and they're back in the contest, Hoppy.
Yeah, 11 minutes gone. And it's the third quarter, the penultimate quarter, and the championship quarter, as it's thrown up ever so straight. Tannick leading towards the ball. He knew he was under pressure, so he decides to just paddle that one forward. And you can see Huonville, look at this. 1, 2, 3 tacklers. And finally, they've been rewarded for their efforts there, Tubes, and it's going to be a free kick to Huonville.
Yep.
Hanging on there was Brody Rundle, but now he goes back. But while he was wrestling on the ground, it gave Lindisfarne an opportunity to get the numbers back and man up.
He decides to sell a bit of candy and play on, does Rundle. His kick is really high. Who's down there? McIndoe and Clark. They just both juggle it across the line, and the umpire says, no, we'll ball it in.
So McIndoe was good enough to take that mark, Tubes, but because he was taking it on 3 attempts, that last attempt was over the line.
So right at centre wing here. Ruck contest. Phillips has been so good in the ruck all day. Tennick got his kick forward quickly. Blaisley, clever touch over the top to knock to advantage. But the defence of Huonville has really kept them in this game. Nice strong mark out here to that man in Barnett. He plays on quickly. He's got a man in huge amounts of space. Short ones on here for Brock. A little bit too much on it for him, and Case Miller goes back and takes a nice easy mark.
That's the kick that has absolutely killed Huonville. They get it towards their 50, and then they almost take the blinkers off and they just go straight. And it's been far too predictable, Tubes.
Yep. Cassidy with strength through that contest, kicks it up towards Blackburn. Coming out hard now is Adams. He's got a man over the top, but he's just taken it over the line for a boundary throw-in.
He did his best to try and keep that ball in, and he almost, you could get a sense that he was far too wide, and he did his best, but it's a boundary throw-in. It is 13 minutes gone in the 2019 EIS SFL Grand Final, with the Huonville Lions 4-5-29 trailing Lindisfarne 9-7-61. It is the ruckman, Matty Phillips, who for me has been an absolute cracker of a player, to Rogers, another one who's got plenty of the onion. Roberts, the goal kicker, with 3. To Cunliffe, who tries to screw that one back, but that's all but impossible angle, even for the talent that is quite prodigious of Cunliffe. Can't bring that one back, and it's out of bounds.
He's been pretty quiet today by his normal lofty standards, Troy Cunliffe, but he's not the sort of bloke that has a bad game, entire game. He'll have bad quarters, he'll have bad halves maybe, but he'll never have a fully bad game. As Rogers, beg your pardon, that's not Rogers at all, it's Johns that brings it out. Finds a man deep and wide into that pocket. Again, just they need to bring it over this side. They've got players running everywhere on this side of the ground, the Lions, but decides to send it long. Tennick now, he's going to be first to the footy. Got it out towards Edmondson. Schenk. Hard at the footy down there is Brady Rundle, and we'll see a ball up.
Good determination there by Tennick on all fours to keep it in for his team. He knows that they need to hold on now and slow the game down, because Huonville are starting to get a little bit desperate. They are trailing by, what is that, Tubes, 32 points.
Yep.
Comes now to Edmondson, who's been a really good player. It's been a fantastic team effort for the two Blues. I'm just looking down there now, Tubes. I think, oh, he's played well, he's played well. Well, I put it to you, there's more that have played well than not, and that's the reason why they are 9-7-61 to Huonville 4-5-29.
Yeah, every single player's had something to say, haven't they? As the ruck comes down for Phillips, handball came out, now the Barnacle running through the middle. He got his kick quickly forward, it bounced over the top. Here's a chance for Lamprell. Lamprell from a tough angle sees an opportunity inside. That's a clever kick to Sullivan.
Gee, that was unselfish play, Tubes, wasn't it? For a minute there, I thought, yeah, you'll blaze that away, and he had the capacity to just glance over his right shoulder and notice that Sullivan was free, and Sullivan now coming in to have this shot on goal. He stutters and kicks from what is a very gettable goal and has missed.
Well,
took the wind out of both our sails then,
yeah, I just wanted to see them get a goal just to bring the confidence up as Miller gets his kick away. It'll land in the arms, though, of an opponent in Liam Ward, who looks to be a little sore, as Jackie Houth hands the ball back. Long kick inside forward 50. Where's Lamprell? Down the back, nice work, McIndoe.
Gee, that was strong, wasn't it? It was good that he knew who was in front of him. He came sort of second, third man over and worked his way to the front of pack. He just willed his way to the front of pack, and he says, I'm going to have this. I'm going to show you blokes how to kick a goal and go back and drill it and get us back in the game.
Well, it was Lamprell, the coach and the captain, both flying for that one. In he comes. Just caught it on the front of his foot, but it doesn't matter. Jimmy McIndoe gets his second of the game, and the Lions stay in touch.
That was crucial there, and a very, very nice mark coming over the top. I like him down deep there, Tubes. He's a good, strong player. The trouble is you need a couple of him.
Well, you need him in the middle, don't you?
Correct.
That's where they've got to win the footy. And I tell you what, they've thrown him up forward, which is a good effort. He's playing on a smaller man in Joey Miller. I'm saying small man because
he's an interesting one, Miller too, isn't he? Miller plays both talls and smalls. He's tough,
versatile.
Good bloke to match him. Played, of course, his juniors there at Sandy Bay, and now come up playing for Lindisfarne. It's a good tap out again by Phillips. So not to state the obvious, another goal needed to get a couple in a row for Huonville for them to be the belief that they can come back, and also to sow that little seed of doubt in the two Blues' minds, Tubes.
Well, we've seen it a lot. That'll be a free kick going to
Here they come.
Yep, going to the Lions. Where does he go? He goes long in the direction of a couple of players flying over the back. That was great effort from Edmondson. Holding the footy, says the crowd. No, says the umpire. Now a quick handball out wide. Clever stuff into the path of Barnett. He gets wrapped up a little high.
Oh, this has really brought the crowd alight as Barnett showed a great deal of courage and fortitude to put himself in the position, and he's only small of stature and height, quite wide across the hips and very stocky. And
doesn't look like he skips leg day, does he, Hoppy?
Oh, I don't think so, son. Here he goes. Let's have a look at him. Tristan Barnett. Make a name for yourself, son. He swings around doesn't make a great name on this particular occasion as it goes out of bounds.
And guess who's got it? Your man Johns,
yes,
who's been
very good.
So good down back. He looks up, decides to kick it long up the wing. Gee, it's a scrubby kick off the boot. Maybe a free kick going in the way of Huonville here. Yep, it'll be Reese Ward to take the kick. No, they're going to give it to Liam Ward. It'll be one of the Wards.
They've got to capitalise on these forward thrust, Tubes. They've been down there, but they need to take marks. Have a look at all the defenders. And there he is, taking another one, James McIndoe. I said to you a few minutes ago, I love him down there, so he can't go off the field, this man. When he's having a spell from the midfield run, Tubes, put him deep.
Yep.
Put him deep. He's a hard man to match up on.
Well, he's a builder by trade there, Jimmy Mack.
Oh, and he's certainly building belief in his team now.
Here we go. This one is a must get. He likes it too,
yes.
And he tells them, come on, Lions, get fired up. The margin is shrunk again, and Jimmy Mack has 3 for the game, 2 in the quarter, Hoppy.
Yeah, nice work by him. He's trying to bring this team on his coattails, on his Pat Malone, showing great strength and not only taking the marks, but then assuredly going back and accurately slicing the big sticks. And you can hear in the effects, microphone, that there are plenty here barracking for their beloved Huonville Lions.
So a ball up here, back in the middle. Huonville would love to get another couple. Tap down, straight down the throat of the Lindisfarne player. That was quickly kicked forward by Josh Young. They fly high. Here's Johns. He runs away from his opponents and now just clears it out towards Schenk. Schenk and Edmondson. Schenk goes back and takes a nice contested grab. Has a man short. Inboard is Barnett, but that kick is Schenk has shanked it. Johns quickly mops up the bad work. Quick kick away, but there's no one out here for the Lions,
of course there is.
McIndoe, who just snuck into the picture late. Nice kick down towards Lamprell, goes and flies high. He's got a man short if he wants. He decides not to. He'll go back and the coach will have a crack from just outside 50.
He must kick this goal, Tubes. He's turned his back on a teammate who was spare in the 10-metre square. So he'll go back now and have a shot. Let's have a look at him. He comes in now. He moves around, and that is an absolute shocker.
Well, he wheeled out.
What was he wheeling out? Buddy Franklin style, but on his other side, and he kicked it right across his body.
You can just tell the disappointment here in the commentary box that we want this contest, don't we, Hoppy? As that one flies high, big fist from behind, quick handball out, nicely flicked up by the Lindisfarne player in Rogers, who's caught holding the footy. Free kick going to Rundle. Rundle's got no one to kick to. He's got the coach short, so he decides to kick it there, and he'll have another crack from a very similar spot.
Well, this time you'd like to see him just kick through the ball, Tubes. Kept his shoulders nice and square. I think the distance is problematic for him. That's the reason why he's arcing to get that extra distance, to get the big pendulum moving.
Yep. So here we go.
What has he learned? Not a lot.
No. Is that a replay? Is that the Bennett's Petroleum replay there, Hoppy?
Oh, dear. That's not great. But the ball is down the Huonville end.
Still there.
And same with the super coach there. Just keep duking them up, son, and driving them in and passing it off to someone else. That'll be my go. There's a couple of Huonville players are down in that big packed that formed as the ball came out, and the umpire's going to come down. You can just sense it now that it's lifted another octave, Tubes, as we are nearly 23 minutes gone in the third quarter. Huonville Lions 6-6 with momentum 42, trailing Lindisfarne a stagnant 9-7-61.
Here they go again, inside forward 50, tackle without it. That'll be a free kick against Liam Ward. So the two Blues with the footy at half back. Which way does he go? He goes up the line in the Cassidy direction. Ridingham's housing, big fist from behind, and we will see it go across the line. It was big Cal Rawson that fisted that one.
Yeah, third man up, decided we just need to kill this ball. I don't want it going over the back because they had space down there, Lindisfarne. So another crucial ruck contest won by the two Blues, but it was almost the old volleyball slam dunk.
It was a throw, wasn't
They needed that one in the dying seconds of the game for Australia last night.
Yeah, as the ball goes forward now, Cassidy is outnumbered. Down it comes for Rawson.
Oh, you're in
He's
trouble.
got his kick away just, but umpire's pinged him. Great tackle laid down there by Sam Adams, and he'll go back just to quench the momentum of the opposing side.
Yes, the strong, stocky, well-built Adams is going to go back on his left boot. Normally would prefer to be on a running shot to goal, Tubes, but he has kicked a set shot. He's kicked one of each, coming in for his third. As there we go, it was right out to the side, but that has swung back and just grazed the post, I think. For a minute there, I thought it stuck in.
No, it was always destined to either be woodwork or point, wasn't it?
He just pushed it, didn't he? He didn't kick it. He almost put it in the air and hoped it and wheeled it through. So It is the Lions now who come deep in defence. It goes over the top of Tennick, out towards Bluey Miller, and he has been strongly hit as Westbury screws it back towards the danger area. But standing tall is Jackman.
So Jackman from the back pocket. He looks up, he looks across, and he goes defensively up the line. Housing, Miller, Barnacle does well. Now watch him latch on here. Loves it.
Yes, really good tackle.
Reese Douglas. Thick through everything there, Reese Douglas. He likes to latch on, he holds on hard too. My favourite player in the SFL right there.
Yeah, I got a sense of that, Tubes. So now Lindisfarne, that's Rogers, pushed it in, they go up. I think Cassidy's going to claim that one. And he's also looking for the 50. He said, well, come on, he said, I've marked that one, what about it? But the umpire was having none of it. He was deemed, as we're going to have a look on the Mood Food replay to see if, in fact, there was any other touches. Cassidy going back with a couple on him.
No, that's all his.
And it was all Cass as he pulled that one in. The old knees buckled right from under him, but he'll go back and steady the ship.
Well, if he's kicking him like he was kicking them earlier there, Hoppy, this one will miss, and it does.
Those two big tall sticks do funny things to people, don't they, Tubes?
I'd back him home from 65.
Oh, absolutely. There are some players who are better from the longer kick because they have to kick through the ball. As going out to the Barnacle. Over to the skipper, gets a handball to the Barnacle again. He goes back, it's Ward. Ward goes forward. They're on here, Tubes. Oh no, is he going to find the handball or kick the goal? He's kicked the goal, and here they come, the Huonville Lions.
Brilliant goal to Tim Lamprell, his second of the game, and it all started back with the Barnacle, and that's
Costly error, wasn't it there?
Coast to coast footy here.
That's the 12-point turnaround. Didn't touch it there by the two Blues. Just wonderful play, wonderful running play, getting it over the top. Fancy finding that man with so much time and space and put it through. So Huonville, 7-6-48. They're coming hard now towards Lindisfarne, 9-9-63.
So not long left in this third term. The umpire decides to throw it up. Big one by Phillips, punched away. Now it comes down for the Lions. Punched over the top again. McIndoe quickly spins around. Nice kick long forward, but it's going to be wrapped up. Easy stuff down there for big Ryan Edmondson. He pops it over the top, finds a little man down there in Theodore James. Theo goes long up the line towards Phillips. He's going to take that mark. Oh, that'll be a free kick for chop of the arms. And Phillips will take the kick at centre wing.
I've loved the way this man's played, Tubes. He's stood up tall, as the old adage says, the big man don't get any shorter, but he's been a colossus for the two Blues. He's won a lot of the taps and taken marks, and you can see there just his presence. But it's Huonville battling hard, as that was James who fell over. Oh, and here's running away with the ball, but Huonville are going to take the free kick in the last line of defence.
Well, Johns would be best on for Huonville for mine. He's been wrapped up in everything down there, and he's kept them in the game.
I think you're going to be hard-pressed to find anyone out there at the moment who's better than him on any of the teams, Tubes, to be quite honest. He's had a crack of a game.
Very good. Now it's got in the arms of Liam Ward. He goes longer still, fist away by Joe Miller over the back. Here's a chance now for Sullivan. Can he get his foot to it? He does. There's one for McIndoe. McIndoe quickly off to Schenk. Schenk around the corner. He's got a man inboard. Just needs to dive and take the mark. Couldn't do it. Here goes the Barnacle. Barnacle heard a voice. Lamprell off now. Quick kick forward. Which way does this one bounce? It doesn't. Bounce the right way for the Lions, and they get away with one there, Lindisfarne. So Huonville 7-7-49, trail Lindisfarne 9-9-63. The margin down to just, what's that, 14 points, Hoppy?
It's really...
sorry, 20... No, 14. 14, I'm right.
You're
sorry,
right, son. Never doubt yourself. So for Lindisfarne, Tommy Roberts has got 3. We've got singles there to Blackburn, Cassidy, a couple to Adams, Tennick and Blaisley. James McIndoe, didn't he stand up in that quarter with
Jimmy.
3 power marks and goals? Brock, Mulder and 2 to the errant Lamprell, who came good with that running goal when they finally got some space. And there is a buzz around North Hobart Oval, Tube.
Well, they've got some belief there, the Huonville Lions. Can the two Blues hold on? That is the question. Make no mistake, they are favourites going into this last term. But the Huonville Lions showing a little bit more as they've eased themselves into this game. We'll take a quick break here at 3/4 time. It is Lindisfarne by 14 points over the Lions here on the EIS Grand Final Day. We'll be back in just a few moments. Stick around here on Duff TV.
In today's world of self-service, it's nice to know that there's still a place where you can sit back and relax. Bennett's Driveway Service, now at Snug, Lerner Valley and Sandy Bay. For more than 40 years, Bennett's Petroleum has been there for all Tasmanians.
All it does is call. And when you hear it, then it's up to you to act. Know your limits and come back for them later. Forget yesterday and tomorrow. Be here now. Drive to the edge of the map and then drive further.
In today's world of self-service, it's nice to know that there's still a place where you can sit back and relax. Bennett's Driveway Service, now at Snug, Lerner Valley and Sandy Bay. For more than 40 years, Bennett's Petroleum has been there for all Tasmanians.
All it does is call. And when you hear it, then it's up to you to act. Know your limits and come back for them later. Forget yesterday and tomorrow. Be here now. Drive to the edge of the map and then drive further.
In today's world of self-service, it's nice to know that there's still a place where you can sit back and relax. Bennett's Driveway Service, now at Snug, Lerner Valley and Sandy Bay. For more than 40 years, Bennett's Petroleum has been there for all Tasmanians.
All it does is call. And when you hear it, then it's up to you to act. Know your limits and come back for them later. Forget yesterday and tomorrow. Be here now. Drive to the edge of the map and then drive further.
In today's world of self-service, it's nice to know that there's still a place where you can sit back and relax. Bennett's Driveway Service, now at Snug, Lerner Valley and Sandy Bay. For more than 40 years, Bennett's Petroleum has been there for all Tasmanians.
Fourth term about to get underway, and I was down at Tim Lamprell's huddle at the Huonville Lions, and he said that was better. That's our style of footy. That's what we want. And he is fired up. He's keen to get one-on-one footy, lock out their outlet kicks. Hoppy, how did you go down there with Dan Willing at the Two Blues?
He said, I knew they were going to come at us. We all knew that. We were expecting it. We've got to stay calm. We've got to stay focused. He wants one-on-one footy. And he says, we can't go defensive to hold on to this lead. We've got to be aggressive and get up and score. What he wasn't happy with his forwards. They were more prepared to just run back towards the goal. He wants them leading up harder to create some space to go back into. So I'll be interested to look at that. And he's also put a hard lockdown on James McIndoe. So I'll be interesting to see how that rolls.
Wonder who he's put on him. Has he gone to Case Miller, do you reckon? Because he's playing a pretty good game on Ethan Brock down forward. Not sure how this will end up. So here we go. Through the middle of the ground. Will it be a red, blue and yellow grand final, or will it be another two blue? Here we go. Brundle gets the kick forward. It's going to be marked here by McIndoe, who's held off the footy hard at it. Through there was Douglas, and we'll see a ball up.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think at the moment there it's Martin.
Ryan Martin, yep.
Yep, who's gone with him, and he was told to stay right on him. So the handball comes to the advantage of Huonville as Miller comes running out hard at it. He has been put to the ground. Kennick's got it, throwing, and first forward entry will go to Huonville in this crucial last quarter of play.
So Thorpe has the kick at half forward. He looks up. No one really short, no one really long. That's a horrible kick inside forward 50 as Hoppy throws the hands back. Out it comes now. A chance for McIndoe round the corner. His kick is smothered, and it goes over the line.
Yeah, that wasn't a great option there, Tubes, was it? Didn't really give the forwards any option. You have to orbit. It's a 7-iron in there. You've got to give it a little bit of height so that the forwards come out and jump in and try and clunk it.
Well, out of the ruck, round the corner, Sullivan out on the full.
And it was a good effort, though, by the big man in the ruck. But the Two Blues will take the free kick. Very noisy in the crowd, isn't it? It's great to see so many people here at North Hobart Oval.
Big fist away. Westbury just slips through his fingertips and it goes out of bounds for another boundary throw, and at half forward for the Lions. So the Two Blues just holding on. It was a 4-2 third term in favour of the Lions. Turnovers going down for the Lions in that term. Douglas got it out, just fumbles it towards himself, then just ducks his head and goes again. Out he comes, got his handball over the top. Houth now with space, sends it up. Who's down there? Watch them fly. Sullivan and Miller over the line.
Good defensive play there by Miller to run across. They were coming hard then, and I don't think they can afford to bomb that long. I don't know that they've got really enough marking power, and they're too smart, Lindisfarne. They'll get back and defend that kick. So they need to be really careful, and that last kick comes in as a really good tackle there by Martin, enough to put a bit pressure on Thorpe, and the ball skews off his foot, and it'll be a free kick here to the two Blues.
So Martin from the back pocket sends it long to a very similar position to it's been all day. And they see that one over the line in front of Edmondson and Cassidy.
Cassidy was down very deep. He led forward. He certainly listened to what the coach said. He said he wanted his forwards to lead up. Well, he's gone right up to the half-back flank, but he's created space behind him. So if they can get the quick break, Tubes, they'll be very dangerous. So Huonville now, they'd be desperate to score the first goal. Nat Phillips, who I reckon has been a beauty, talking of beauties, Cameron Johns goes the spoil. Now they've got an opportunity through Blaisley. Blaisley picks it up, and here is that danger ball that comes in. They hold their feet. There's Blackburn. He can't get the handle on it. He's bundled over it, and well played by Adam Johns. He goes the short kick to Cassidy, and he's fallen over. Goodness gracious, those stops, and he's going to be almost holding the ball. Comes back to Westbury. He has a snap, but it's gone close to the line, and it's all but a comedy of errors, Tubes. Where are the long stops?
What happened there as the kick goes long now across the face of goal? They go ducking over at Tennick, playing for a free kick. Umpire called a free against.
Got it, hasn't he?
No, it looks like it will go to Tennick. Yeah, you're right, Hoppy. As Edmondson does a bit of push and shove stuff down there with Matty Schenk.
Well, let's hope that that fall there by the big Cass doesn't come back to haunt Lindisfarne. About to waltz in to an open goal. And that's very clever play there, Tubes, by Tommy Roberts, who's got 3. That's his 4th, and he has put that one through.
Well, that's exactly what Lindisfarne wanted. That's how they wanted to start this quarter. He is so clever, Tom Roberts. And I hate saying that about him because he's a bit of a pain in the backside off the field, apparently. Well, I know he is. No, he's a good fella, but how clever is this? Just smart. He's a smart footballer, Tommy Roberts. And he kicks a goal, and Johns is unhappy, and the heads have dropped of the Lions.
He looked for all money. He was going to go on to his left there, didn't he, Tubes? And he just came back inside, straightened up, and slotted that one through for an absolute steadier for the two Blues. Needless to say, Huonville are under the pump now, and they crucial that they get this next goal to keep that belief. And Blaisley, who has been playing in front, has been rewarded, and he's going to take that kick another deep entry into the forward line.
This is actually Sean Clark.
Oh, that's
changed
Clark,
the numbers.
Sorry.
Yeah, yep. So Sean Clark will have a shot. He's a beautiful kick at the footy, the veteran. He looks up. He's got a man short and Tennick. That's just horrible checking down there from the defence of Huonville.
Yeah, nice play by Clark there to find Tennick. And Tennick's going to have a shot. He's going to kick this from about 45 as he's outside 50 now. He goes in, getting some big momentum. It's right on his distance. It's a good long kick, but not long enough. And Huonville are able to mop that one up as it comes out wide here to Rawson.
Now, Rawson has butchered the ball all day. Let's see how this one goes. He's got a man wide. He goes long and far and finds Edmondson, but it goes through the fingers of Blaisley. Blaisley keeps trying hard. Umpire says, no, I'll take it. No prior opportunity.
Just back to that Rawson kick there, Tubes. What about risk-reward? You've gone straight across goal. You're on the offensive side already. You've got to stay on the attacking area, and he's gone across to a 50-50.
Yeah. Not sure why he's done that. McIndoe, hard at the footy, as was Edmondson. That is Hutchinson, I should say. Hutchinson gets his kick down. That's another almost throw. Going back to that man in Johns. They've ran themselves into trouble here, the Lions. Clark, clever, over the top. Finds that man in Cunliffe, and a strong mark again to Cal Rawson.
Yeah, Rawson. Good overhead. Take your time, son. Get the right choice. He sizes up the kick. He comes out wide and turn the ball over. It's a nice mark by Alex Gall. Gall is on the attacking side of the ground, and Rawson a strong mark. Well, that's certainly been the one thing that he's been good at today, Choose.
At least he's not letting it go back over his head too easily. And that kick is out of bounds on the full.
Certainly is. So, just when they needed to really firm up a good solid attack, Lindisfarne are going to come back in with interest. A swerve there by Hutchison, gets it into a really dangerous area. Have a look at the big Cass. He's 3-on-1, but he's brought that one down. He could have got one in the face, says the umpire. Please, certainly I've got to get that one, but he has held it in an extremely dangerous position for the two Blues here, Tubes.
Yep, really dangerous stuff here for Huonville. If they get another goal here, Lindisfarne, I reckon that may be all she wrote. Out it comes over the back for Blackburn, who just gets tackled with a footy, and the Border Collie goes berserk. And we'll see a boundary throw-in.
Blackburn didn't show a great deal of urgency. He knew he was going to be tackled, and he just sort of he resigned himself to the thought. You just love to see a kiddie when he picks the ball up, show some urgency around the onion, don't you?
Yeah, that's what you want to see. Phillips again in the ruck. Out it comes Tennick, trying hard to get the footy. Roberts, so clever. Handball's up. Westbury, tackled high. He'll get a free kick.
Well, he put his head with no fear. Huonville can't believe it. And they can believe now that it's a 50 metres, Tubes, and I think he's going to kick from the line.
I think you'll see that this is a 50 metres for laughing.
Yeah, I don't think there was great dissent. He was just looked back as if to say, oh, turn it up. And the umpire took it to heart, and he's given him 50 metres to say to young Tej Westbury, Merry Christmas. As he's put the two hands up as if to... It reminded me of the old wrestling move there.
Shimmy, wasn't it?
It was a shimmy. I hope he hasn't gone the early shimmy, because we know that Huonville will never give it away, but gee whiz, Tubes, that's made it really, really hard.
Yeah, I'm pretty confident that was a 50 for laughing. So you can't laugh anymore. But Lindisfarne, 11-9-75. Leading the line 7-7-49. 9.5 minutes gone in the final quarter of the SFL Grand Final. Ball back in the middle. Ruck contest punched away nicely by Reese Ward. It's going to be lit up by James. And he's lit up by 3 lines, and we'll see a ball up.
Yeah, good tackling again, especially by the skipper McIndoe, who's trying to create some space, but Miller is absolutely wearing him like a cheap suit, trying to barge their way through.
Caught high.
Ooh, very fortunate because it had Pryor, but fair enough. The umpire, they've been consistent, and so now that might be an opportunity to go forward. It slipped over the back, running hard onto the ball. Gall runs back with the flight, and he's aided with the assistance of Cunliffe, and there'll be another boundary throw in. So Huonville would be absolutely desperate to try and score a major from this forward thrust. Comes down to McIndoe. McIndoe is not getting out of there, and it's not really going their way in the last few minutes of play, Tubes.
So Case Miller with a footy. He sends it long. Who's he got down there? Cassidy gets under the footy. Nice fist from Housing. Houth gets wrapped up in a tackle. Cassidy comes over and sits on the young man. And we'll see a ball up. Now, Hoppy, in the 2005 Grand Final, at 12-minute mark, Commandy were 25 points down and came back and won. I'm not trying to say that we're lit up for that sort of finish here today, but they should not give up the lines as that ball comes inside forward 50. Which way does it go? Nice, clever tap towards James. He's going back again, Howlett. He's going to get onto this one. Miller with a handball up, off to Gall. Gall goes long, down towards Blazley. Blazley turns around and looks up. He's got Blackburn in the middle and Clark at centre-half forward. He decides to wait. Gall kept running. That's clever football. Now, Blackburn goes back as he's got more space around the corner for Rogers. And there's Blackburn, who just kept running. And I called his name earlier because I saw him run away here. And he was always going to get the footy, Hoppy.
Yes, well, it's going to be very, very tough if Blackburn can put this through. And we know that he's a very accurate kick. But while there is blood pulsating through the Huonville veins, Tubes, they've got to believe that they can win this game. They are at the moment 7-7-49, trailing 11-9-75, and Blackburn's going to try and increase that to 81 as he comes in. He kicks, going towards the goals, and if your life depended on it and someone was having a shot for goal, you'd give it to that man there, Blackburn, to have a crack at it, wouldn't you, Tubes?
Yeah, you would. He's a beautiful kick of the footy, and he's been quiet again, but still.
He only needs a couple of kicks.
That's what I was about to say.
He hasn't got that many. But anyway, when you look back at the stats in years to come and you say, oh, Blackburn's he's got 2 to this stage, very effective. If every forward gets that,
yeah,
you'd be pretty happy.
They've done their job. Big tick as the crowd starts to leave here, Hoppy. We're starting to see the crowd go. It is Lindisfarne 12-9-81 leading the line 7-7-49.
There might be some people just thinking and don't want to get caught on that southern outlet, as they've decided already that the 2 Blues are home. It's 13 minutes gone in the final quarter of the EIS SFL Grand Final for 2019. And it seems to be all Lindisfarne at the moment. They were asked a lot of questions, Tubes, up there until 3/4 time, and we were of the assumption that Huonville would probably get a goal or 2 and really hit hard, but the thoroughbred that is the 2 Blues just put it up an extra gear and have at the moment looking every bit a winner of this grand final.
Boundary throw in here, Hoppy. Tapped down by the 2 Blues. They've put Ethan Brock into the middle to try and get him into the game. And as you said earlier, Hoppy, I think there's just been a lot of contributors from the 2 Blues across the whole game.
So even in this last quarter, an example, Tennick's come into it. He's been okay, but in this last quarter, we've called his name considerably. Everyone's had moments in the game, which is what a good team will do, as that ball is being driven in towards Cassidy, their main focus. He's been pushed underneath the ball, and the Lions were going to retrieve this one through the agency of Clark. Clark goes long on the drop punt, 3-on-1. That's going to end badly, and a strong tackle there by Huonville as James tries to barge his way through, slight of frame. This is going to be a tough encounter. They're never giving up, as that was Johns trying to push the ball forward, but it's gone close to the line, and here we go again, as a few boys, Ward included, are getting very willing around the contest.
Boundary thrown at centre wing. Just taken out of the ruck, and he's caught high, apparently. The non-controlling umpire is giving a free kick here, perhaps. Yep.
That's the way I saw that too, Tubes.
Yeah.
I was wondering, I was surprised that the controlling umpire missed that one, but they've got that's why they've got a couple of umpires to see it from a variety of different angles.
Ethan Brock just slipped through his fingers, heard Cassidy coming. Rogers off to Cunliffe. Cunliffe around the corner, just around the corner of the hot spot, just attacking the footy now. A chance around here for Roberts to kick his 5th, but no. It's to the near side for a behind.
That's not a bad day's work if you can snag 5 sausages in the grand final, Tubes. That's plenty to talk about late in the night. Yeah,
late in tomorrow morning too, I assume. And Cassidy from 50 sends it long. Who's down there? Roberts flew high. And he's so wiry, Tom Roberts, that wouldn't have hurt him.
He's got the Matthew Lappins about him, hasn't he?
Doesn't he? He's got a lot of Matty Lappin about him. The kick came out for Schenk. Has Hutchinson hot on his hammer. Nice fist from Edmondson across the line. Boundary throwing.
Yeah, they seem to be devoid of any inspiration or, you know, something different. It really needs someone to lift this team up. Burst through the middle, Phil Manassas style, kick a goal that all of a sudden there'll be a glint back in their eye. But at the moment, they're growing with confidence. Every kick forward, every surge, it seems to be Lindisfarne who have the answers, as Adams is there front and centre, comes across to Blaisley, and Blaisley has put undoubtedly a nail in the Huonville coffin as he slotted that one through for his 2nd and the 2 Blues 13th, as they march on now to 13-10-88. To very much a stagnant Huonville Lions, Tubes, 7-7-49.
Yep, that, as you said, is the nail in the coffin. And how about this finish from Blaisley? Looks up, 3 quick steps, sends the burner down, straight over the umpire's hat, goal. Beautiful stuff from Dan Blaisley.
Yeah, they can sense it now, Tubes, can't they? You can see out there, they're standing tall, and all but the body language of the Lions, they're starting to look around. you know, what's going on? Are you on your man? Are you doing this? It's a bit of that sort of stuff now, as does happen as Cunliffe is at the bottom, gets it across to Tennick, the man we mentioned a few minutes ago, who's getting a bit more of the onion, and he holds it in, and the ball will be thrown up.
Who wins the medal, Hoppy? I mean, it's still 17 minutes. There's probably 13 minutes to go. But who wins the medal? You have a think about that as I call this footy. Out it comes now. Douglas back to Rogers, though. Handballs over the top to a running Tennick, who looks a little sore. Across the line. Ball in.
It wouldn't be.
Look at that border collie going nuts.
Oh, just followed the ball all day, the old champ. Have a look at that. Knows he's doing all the hard yards. Bought his own drink.
Yep.
And ready to go. So Lindisfarne down there will be thinking that everything is going along according to plan now. As Cassidy comes out, he doesn't get it, but Adams does. Adams gets it across to Westbury. He's just going to take a bounce, waltz in, and put it through for another goal to Tej Westbury, and that's his second. And the two Blues are just purring along beautifully now, too.
And look at Mick Cassidy coming in to just get around his junior players. And Mickey Blackburn almost gives him a big kiss on the lips. Let's just take a replay of the puppy dog. But I'm not sure what that free kick was for out there. Maybe out on the full. Cassidy again, he may not have taken many of those big marks today, but he's provided that target that Huonville have been sorely lacking.
Yeah, and they've just started to drop off the pace now, haven't they, Tubes? They're not manning up as closely as they have done. That's been a feature of their game. They're a wonderful tackling unit, and they tackle in unison, and they have just certainly. I think there'll be a sense that they're gone now, as Lindisfarne are starting to really run free. Let's hope they can continue on. They've been wonderful all season. They were the first to get here into the grand final, and let's want to see them finish this game out. But the two Blues, they've been resurgent, and we thought that the Dodgers, of course, finished top. Both of these teams had 40 points at the end of the regular season, and maybe the two Blues were teetering on not being able to defend their title from last year. But when the big questions have been asked on them, Tubes, they've had all the answers so far.
Blackburn ends up with it in his arms. Out it comes from Blaisley. He gets a kick away somehow. Quick kick off the ground. That's opportunistic stuff by Sammy Adams. He's third.
There's been some major multiple goal kickers, and he's absolutely made something out of nothing. He had no right to get that goal, and within the blink of an eye, Tubes, as we glance down at the JMC Motor Car Company scoreboard, we were reflecting a few minutes ago how close they were. They only had to just sneak a goal and they were within a kick. And now their score's being doubled by a rampaging two Blues outfit.
Yeah, I just think Lindisfarne have been huge in this last term. Hoppy, they've had 4 goals already in the last term. Tennick off to a teammate going forward. Westbury going back with a flight. Who's going to get on the end of this one? Johns, handballs up to Phillips. Back now, Westbury. He runs on. He's going to kick another one. He has. Westbury's got 2 in a term. And it is raining goals here at North Hobart. And I tell you what, if these boys aren't careful, Michael Cassidy's going to have his way with his own teammates. He is in love with those boys, isn't he?
Why not, indeed? You can see here, Westbury, there was his first effort. I'm going to keep running. I'm going to get it back. Wonderful modern style football there with your second and third efforts. And the old boy just turned around, and it was cock-a-hoot with that performance, wasn't he, Tubes? As he put the hand aloft just to wave to the adoring two Blue fans. And I had an idea of who was going to be best on ground, but I'm having to change my mind given it's such a resurgent team as we're seeing at the moment. I'd really love the game of Cameron Johns, but because of the way that the game's gone in this last quarter, I think it's leaning back towards a two Blues player.
All right. Well, Cam Johns has certainly kept the Lions in it.
Oh, yes.
As the ball comes in now at half forward for the two Blues. Phillips, he's been huge in the ruck all day. As is that man, Reece Ward. He's battled his backside off. Nice tackle by Jimmy McAdoe. And he's been caught holding the footy.
That's what you want to see from your skipper, isn't it, Tubes?
Yep.
At the 22-minute mark, after the opposition have just kicked about 5 or 6 in a row, and that's unrealistic going for the ball there by Miller. And so it's going to be a free kick here to Huonville, and that'll go to Barnett. Barnett ready to put them into attack. Gone the short pass. It was well weighted towards Rawson, but he went without the footy. Tennick, a little bit overzealous, has come over the top, and it's going to be a free kick. Goes the quick handball back to the designated kicker in Barnett. Coming out and taking, trying to attempt to take that one was Lamprell, but mopping up was Howlett, who's been so steady and assured down back and given them every confidence. Cassidy comes out as Cassidy does and really hits that pack hard and makes sure that the defenders know they've been playing on him. And it'll be another ball in with 23 minutes gone in this last quarter.
So right on the half-forward line now for the two Blues. As the ball comes in, fisted down, Tennick jumps on top of that one, and the umpire will have it. I don't know where you're leaning, but I'm going to go with an unorthodox type of player for my best on, as the rucks do battle. Quickly kick forward by Rundle. Cunliffe off the hands of Howlett. Cunliffe sends a high one. They all fly for it. Schenk went up. He dives on the footy. Out it comes now. Around the corner kick. Nothing doing. Handballed off. And through comes Miller. Down towards his mates. Down there, Johns, who's having to go up forward. Got his handball away. Only as far as that man Jackman. Handball come down. Through hard there was Johns. Blaisley kicks it out to Phillips. And he takes the mark. Goes back off the mark. And looks up. Goes further still down towards Miller. Joey Miller has it now at half forward. He pops it on the boot. Who's down there for the two Blues? No one. And Callum Rawson has it.
Rawson, who's been one of the better players for the Lions, mopped that one up as it comes out towards Elliott. Elliott going back. They've been hemmed in their defensive area. Kicking that one right into the centre of the ground. Good positional play then by Barnett to get in front of Blaisley. And he comes back to Adams, and here's the big ruckman Phillips barging his way through. If Phillips goes toward the goal and just to the side. Lovely play by the big man there, Tubes, as Lindisfarne is 6'11", 107 to 7'7", 49.
As the Lions take it away. Nice mark to Douglas.
He hasn't stopped trying, Tubes.
No, he's been probably one of the best for the Lions as that one goes out of bounds. Just the story of the Lions' day right there, Hoppy.
Yeah, it has. Right from the outset, it appeared that the Lindisfarne team was a bit more polished, and their system worked better today, didn't it?
I think that perhaps the game could have gone a different direction if those first three behinds of the Lions had have been goals.
Oh, absolutely. I agree. Yep.
Play on was the call there from the umpire. Out it comes for Phillips. He handballs over the top to a running man in Johns. Johns could have a shot from here, decides against it and kicks it down towards Roberts. Roberts flies high, and Skinny Lappin himself has taken a mark.
Yeah, frustration there by Rawson. He tried to spoil, but lovely body position by Tom Roberts to knock it to his own advantage. And once it went in front of him, he was the only man who could guard that space, and he did it very, very nicely and pulled it in with his second attempt. And here go back now. Tom Roberts will watch this kick. He's already got 4, so he knows where the goals is. He comes in. He'd love to bring that back. It's not coming. And through, that's a blemish finally for Tom Roberts.
So according to our scoreboard, it is a 59-point margin in favour of the two Blues.
Absolutely, which doesn't really do justice to the game as Cassidy comes out. That one was kept very, very low. Cassidy goes down just above the grass and hangs on to that one. And maybe the weary legs of this gladiator, the colossus of Tasmanian football. He's been a fantastic player no matter where he's been. And as you and I said, a ripping fella to boot. He passes it unselfishly over to Tej Westbury, who is in a better position. And without a doubt, all the sting has gone out of the match now, Tubes.
Absolutely, and I reckon Cass, had he not cramped up there, would have been more likely to kick the goal from there than what he was his earlier shots.
I agree, yep.
So Westbury coming in now as real darkness comes over North Hobart Oval. This one's got the journey, but across to the near side of the goals, through from behind.
Yeah, just looking out from our vantage point here in the, well, we can't say the Peter Sharp Tower anymore, but it's the Peter Sharp wet area until the new vantage point is built. It is very dark in front of us, and those lights are taking full effect, and the screen is ablazing as the cameras do. They put that light into vision.
Gee, they're good. Lindisfarne, they are so good. The kick comes deep in. There's been a free kick downfield, a mark taken by Rogers. Rogers plays on, makes no mistake. And brilliant stuff. I love
the game of Rogers. He's been a four-quarter contributor, Tubes.
Yep, absolutely, Hoppy. And the margin now out to 66 points, 17-13. Lindisfarne 115 to Huonville 7-7-49. They have not scored in this term.
It has been all the two Blues as they've really brought this one home, and they'll enjoy the celebrations tonight. There are a lot of people downing them. They came into this game, well, it was even Steven, really. Huonville, of course, had the direct route in as they defeated the top position team in the Dodgers Ferry Sharks. And it has been all Lindisfarne, though, in this last stanza.
Siren can't be too far away, Hoppy. It'll be a two Blues premiership. Here he comes through the ground. The players have not given up from the lines. Lamprell from a tough corner. Not enough bend. One behind, 65 points the margin.
Yeah, good effort there by Lamprell. Just didn't be able to get, and you can see from our camera down low, there's plenty of smiles down on the players. They can just smell the victory. They're just waiting for the final siren so they can celebrate officially, as Westbury is being given a bit of push and shove by Reece Ward, who just gives that one off to Rundle, and Rundle would be on the limit. I think he's just darting his eyes around to find someone. A little bit too short. It goes back to where Rundle originally was. Goes further wider again towards Lamprell, and Lamprell's going to have a set shot. This angle hasn't suited him, Tubes, in the previous quarter.
No, he's gone for journey, and his kick is to the near side, through from behind. So bringing the ball out now. The sting is gone in this game. It'll be goal. Plays on quickly, sends a short one towards Howlett. Howlett has it at half back, out wide, finding Miller, who's had a great game, nulling the influence of Ethan Brock. Hutchinson has it at half forward. Looks up, he's got Tommy Roberts at centre half forward if he wants. He decides against that and heads in the direction of Blackburn.
Well, Blackburn, as we said, he hasn't had that many kicks. He's got 2 goals, very effective. If he can go back and lace this one out, Tubes, 3 goals for a half forward flank. Absolutely wonderful performance.
Yeah. And I reckon he'll go back and drill this one. As you say, he's a beautiful kick of the footy. And there it is. Is he going to bother?
Oh, I think he'll bother.
He'll bother.
I reckon that a couple of minutes past midnight, when he's talking to a very attractive young lady down at some of the old stomping grounds and say he's got 3 goals instead of 2.
His lovely fiancée.
Bragging rights. Well, let's hope he is with his lovely fiancée.
And there it is. It is a 2 Blues win here in the 2019 SFL Grand Final. They defeat the Huonville Lions 17-13, 115 to the Lions 7-9-51. Goal kickers for the Lions, 3 to Jamie McIndoe, then 2 to Tim Lamprell, then singles to Ethan Brock and Dan Mulder. And then for the Two Blues, well, who didn't kick a goal? It would probably be easier, but it was Tommy Roberts with 4, Sam Adams with 3, 2 to Blaisley, 2 to Westbury, and 2 to Mickey Blackburn, and then singles to Cassidy, Rogers, and Brad Tennick. Better players, Hoppy.
Well, there's some really stoic performances from both teams, and Cameron Johns, you and I spoke infinitum about him, Tubes, but gee, he was great. He chopped a lot of the ball off for Huonville, kept them in the game. Probably in that last quarter when the game was won, he went a little bit quiet, but he was terrific. Your boy, your favourite player, the Barnacle,
yep.
I really liked the way he went about his work. McIndoe, he was terrific, really.
Yep.
Shut down in that last quarter, but he kept them in the game and almost got them to a winning position. Unfortunately, Lamprell couldn't quite get those goals over, and Rawson was a 50-50 for me in that he did a great job down back, turned the ball over, but he did stem a lot of the flow. And then you go on to the winners. Yeah,
I just want to, before we get on to the Two Blues, I just want to mention Nikolai Housing.
Yes.
He played a great game on a big man in Mick Cassidy.
Yes, he did.
And I thought his influence, they came out even, those two. So a good effort. For the Two Blues, I think Tommy Roberts, of course, 4 goals in the grand final. How could you go past him? A 4-quarter effort from Kieran Rogers. Dylan Johns was very good, your man down back, just repelling those early influences, early entries for the Lions. Matt Phillips in the ruck and Brad Tennick. I'm going to go with Phillips for the medal. Who did you?
I've got Phillips.
Oh, well, there you go.
Well, I thought for 4 quarters, he was great. And in fact, when he ran like a gazelle towards the goals, I thought, my goodness, this is going to cap off what I think has been best on ground. So for me, when the chips were down, when they kept coming at him, I liked it how he kept jumping into him. So that's for me, Tubes. I thought he was best.
Yeah, and look at those smiles on the boys. And Dan Willing, a back-to-back coach for the Lindisfarne Two Blues. Repeating, it was the Lindisfarne Two Blues, the premiers of 2019 in the SFL, 17-14, 116 to the Huonville Lions, 7-9-51. Run-out victors by 65 points in the end. We've had a little change on the scoreboard. We missed a point, so 116 to 51. We will take a quick break. The presentations are coming up, and then I believe, Hoppy, you're heading down to do a few little interviews after the game.
Well, we look forward to that, Tubes.
Yeah, my name is Tubes Taylor. Hoppy, a pleasure to be in the box with you.
Oh, had a ball. It's been a great game. Fantastic for footy, wasn't it, Tubes, to see
wonderful.
so many here at the home of football.
Yeah, until next time, we'll see you at the footy. Take care from Duff TV.
today. Really well done on a good year. To our boys, obviously we didn't quite get over the last hurdle, but from where we come from at the start of the year, to string 10 together in a row and only fall over at the last hurdle, a massive achievement from you boys, and we just didn't quite get that 22 contributor today. So well done to Lindisfarne and congratulations.
Thank you. Thanks very much. Well played.
Thanks, Billy. Our best on-ground medal today goes to Brad Tennick.
Congratulations. Well played. We'll have a photo together.
Congratulations, Brad, on taking out the Gorringe Martin medal. I now invite the coach of Lindisfarne, Daniel Willing, to come forward and say some messages on behalf of the Lindisfarne Footy Club.
Loud voice, loud voice.
Firstly, to Billy and the Huonville boys, Billy hit the nail on the head to get where you are now from where you were at the start of the year. It's an unbelievable effort. You really set the benchmark in the second half of the year and really drove us to be better. We knew if we wanted to win out, you the guys we needed to beat. So well done on a fantastic year. Firstly, to our board for all their ongoing support of me right through the last 5 years. Thank you very much. Secondly, to our major sponsors, to Newjet and to ChemCon for all their support. We can't do what we do without you. Again, I said last year to our supporters that this was as much for you as it is for us. We put you through a lot of heartbreak, but hopefully now over the last 2 years we've been able to repay you, so thanks for all your support. To my players, unbelievable. We've faced some adversity right throughout the year, and we spoke about it before the game. We were written off. We were probably playing some pretty ordinary footy through the middle part of the year, but what you've been able to do over the last 6 weeks is first rate. I love you all very much. Thank you so much for today. You've made me a really proud man.
Well done. Congratulations, Daniel.
Daniel,
Oh, yeah. Daniel, let him back.
I'll call him out.
Oh,
Do you want to call out?
no, get him to do, get Daniel to do it.
We now invite Daniel to call out the players to receive their premiership medallions.
Number order.
Yep, number order.
Number 1, the big dog, Sean Clark. Number 5, Joseph Miller.
Bring on, Matty!
Number 6, Ryan Martin. Number 7, Michael Blackburn. Number 9, Tommy Roberts. Number 11, Matt Hutchinson. Number 12, the Sheriff, Josh Young. Number 17, Adam Hutchinson. Number 18, Sammy Adams. Number 19, Theo James. Number 25, Kieran Rogers. Number 27, Ryan Edmondson. Number 29. Number 29, the Pig, Troy Cunliffe. Number 30, Alex Gall. Number 33, Teach Westbury. Number 35, Dylan Johns.
Well done, Dylan.
Number 38, the Vulture, Matt Phillips. Number 41, Brad Tennick. Number 42, Justin Howlett. Number 43, Casey Miller. Number 56, Daniel Blaisley. And our captain, number 23, Michael Cassidy.
And the coach, Daniel Willing.
And the coach, look at you. Get saved, take a photo.
On behalf of the Southern Football League and our partners, EIS Property and ID Clothing, we'd like to thank all the fans, the supporters, the families for coming along to watch a great spectacle today. Congratulations to our 2019 premiers, the Lindisfarne Football Club. Premiership Cup celebration.
Got that gap at all?
Party time! There they are!
Grab a couple. Have it about that far from your mouth and his mouth. Yeah, right on. So,
You get,
Jeremy watching.
grab anyone. Oh, you are, but on ground.
Oh, there we go.
Well, a fantastic victory there to the two Blues, and we're just seeing all the celebrations out here on the hallowed turf of North Hobart. We're going to see if we can grab a couple of players as we on ground over here. Brad Tennick, the thoroughbred that just gets up at 3 in the morning and runs a lazy 10K and finishes third, I think, in the bridge run, mate. That was a wonderful victory. They really came hard at you and it was up for grabs. And I put it to you, this quarter was fantastic. I was mentioning the names and Tennick came up a lot in the last quarter. That was a really strong performance.
Yeah. Oh, we knew they were going to come. The last game at Lindisfarne when they came back and attacked us and got over the line, obviously. So we had that in the back of our heads, but we got over the line this time. So, yeah.
That victory, I think, to me was fantastic because there was a lot of talk about Dodgers, that were going to be probably a dominant team. These guys got in the grand final first, and there was a little bit of doubt from the hangover from last year. What was the talk over at Lindisfarne building up to this game?
I think the turning point was the Signet game when it really clicked and we won by 120 points or whatever. And then last week we battled hard in the wet and got over the line. And I think obviously the group knew that they could win, so it's good to win.
Yeah, I thought today you had some really good system. You put a lot of pressure on. The tackling was immense, and every time they went in, it was into contest, and you guys created space. So, as far as I'm concerned, congratulations to you, and congratulations on a good victory. Well done.
Thank you.
Good on you. Let's. We'll just keep going. Will we there, Duff? Dylan.
Hello, Hoppy.
Congratulations on a great victory. I've got Dylan Johns with me, who had a fantastic performance today, and in fact I thought was crucial on some of those chop-off marks, and very, very good performance by you today, son.
Thank you, Hoppy. Yeah, it was a great performance by all, I thought, and we just really clicked as a team, especially today and in the last half. Especially the last quarter, just to put them away like that was amazing, and all the forwards just kicking goals was good.
Well, hang on a minute. Don't worry about the forwards. What about the defenders, like your very good self? They had plenty of the ball. They were attacking. They kept coming at you. They had a lot of people who'd come up from Huonville to urge their team on, and it was a 50-50 game in that last quarter. They get the first goal. Yeah. They were like, you guys got it, and you went on with the game. You must have been thrilled. When was it that you thought you could taste that victory?
Probably about halfway through the last. We probably kicked about 4 in a row, I think, and then we were just, we're all getting excited, and we just wanted to keep going, kick more goals, and get over the line in style, really. So. Well, there were 3 Johnses out there, 2 from Huonville, 1 from Lindisfarne. You're the only Johns with a premiership medal. That's it.
Last time I saw you as a younger man, I think in 2013 on this turf. Congratulations, you on a wonderful game today.
Cheers, mate.
Well done.
Cheers.
You want a couple? Oh, what about the big Cash? You want to get Cash? Seeing we got the old skipper over there. Well done, Daniel.
Cheers.
Let's have a quick chat.
Yep.
Yeah, we better have the winning coach, Daniel Willing. That was a wonderful performance. I just said to some of the players, it's really funny because I was really interested to find out if this was the start of a dynasty from last year. Yep. A lot of challenges came at you this season. Dodgers Ferry were the front runners, and you were all but forgotten because Huonville got to the grand final first. Yep. That might have been quite handy for you to sort of, I think, just came in.
We flew under the radar a little bit.
Very much so.
And losing that final against Huonville in the first week in extra time, although it was disappointing,
yes, it
was probably a blessing in disguise because we had some players that needed to keep playing. They were coming back from injury, and what we got was the continuity we were after. I'll be honest, at 3/4 time, I wasn't sure because we played that tough game last week. I wasn't sure how we were going to respond, but they were outstanding in the last quarter, and they got what they deserve. It's what we've done now is something that's never been done at our football club. We've never won back-to-back senior premierships, and we've done it, so they've created some history.
Well, as I alluded to at the start, a dynasty could be starting. You've got the playing group here. What about next year for you?
No, I'm done. That's
definitely
it for me.
done?
I've made the choice halfway through the year. I didn't plan on staying for 5 years. We got Cass along to the club as sort of that handover type role, and that's for him and the club to sort out from here, but they're aware that I'm done. I've done my 5 years. I'm exhausted, but I'm proud. I'm a back-to-back premiership coach. It took me 5 goes to get one.
I was going to say, that was the thing, the painful reality of when you get to a grand final and just fall so agonisingly short, and that's why it's really sweet today, I would have thought, to get that second victory.
Yeah, it is. I was zipping 4 in grand finals at one stage, but to win the last 2, and this is clearly the best playing group I've had. Probably, to be honest, not on talent, just on their ability to work hard, and I reckon that's the key ingredient if you're going to win premierships. You've got to want to do it, and these guys wanted to do it the whole way through.
Yeah, the tackling pressure today, every time Huonville went into the ball, you just smothered them, and I was interested, and I was talking in the commentary box about your system, and I guess that's down to you and the rest of the coaching staff. You look more likely to get a score, and when you went in the forward line, you created space, and I was interested to hear you say that at 3/4 time. You weren't that thrilled that they were actually going back too early. You needed to lead up and create the space over the back, and you look more likely to kick a score. They were more kicking it in the hope that someone could clutch one. Your system was probably a little bit better today.
Yeah, it was, and that's the way we want to play in our forward line. We have to hit up at the footy, and it creates space. It creates one-on-ones. Yep. Our defensive system today was unbelievably good. That's 2 grand finals in a row where we've kept opposition to really low scores, and that's the key in finals. You've got to be defensively strong, and to do it today, Cass I think only kicked 1, maybe 2. I'm not sure, but to do it today without him doing that.
Well, we get a bit of a handover. Congratulations to you on a wonderful performance as coach, and now you just got to show some dignity here, son, as the captain and new coach of the 2 Blues, Michael Cassidy. Fantastic performance by you. Very well done. How's that feel?
Very good, very good. back-to-back is something that we've never been done, and we sat down about 5 weeks ago and had a harsh reality check, and we knew it was going to be tough, and the boys stuck fat, and we actually really put in, and obviously the scoreboard shows that just where we're at as a group. We've got a good young group that will hopefully continue on.
And you've hit the nail there, a good young group. You must be really thrilled for what you've seen now coming in, if you then to take the reins over as the senior coach.
Oh, mate, it's fantastic. So, I mean, you just got young leaders that have been there and done it before that stood up in big moments. So to have Fritter back, it just shores up our back line. Justin Howlett reckons he's retiring, but I've got news for him. So, but no, I'm really proud of him, and it just goes to show what hard work does, and we've pulled it off.
Yeah, congratulations to you. I thought the way you attacked the ball was fantastic, and that many times you created goals. You know, maybe that you didn't get a lot of them through the big sticks, but you brought it down when Adams was there or Westbury was front and centre, and you always seemed to have one or two hanging on you. So you created a lot of opportunities for the forwards.
Word going around was you were upstairs bagging me out because I was slipping over all the time.
Well, there was a little whisper that the old Silver Fox said, for God's sake, man.
What is going on with him?
When you came into the goal here, and I thought, here's Cassidy, he turns round one, he's open goal, and he's fallen over. I thought, I hope that one doesn't come to haunt the big fella. Luckily, it didn't, old boy, so well done and congratulations to you.
Duff TV needs to get more games next year too, so let's make sure we get behind them and get the funding for it to put some SFL footy on the big screen.
Good as gold. Well done, mate. Congratulations. Well played. Well, it's all exciting down here on North Hobart. We hope that you've enjoyed the coverage. It's Andrew Silver Fox Hopwood cutting out from the 2019 EIS SFL Grand Final.